Hey, everybody, welcome to Knit Night. My name is Therese, and I'm here as always with the lovely Liz Clothier.
Hello.
And we are joined by the editor and chief officer and owner and king of Blocked Magazine, Neil James.
Well,
Mr.
that's an
Blocked
introduction.
himself.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, Joe's not here. As she mentioned last week, she had somewhere to be. So we say
More
hello, Joe.
important
We
than
wish you were
us.
here.
Hmm,
That'll go over real well.
Whatever. Come
We
at me.
miss you, Joe. But we're glad Neil's here, and maybe other friends will be popping in along the way. We'll have to wait and see. So.
Yep.
Well, it's
How is
much
everybody?
easier for me tonight because you're still. Hang on, how's it worked? Has your time? Yeah, your time has gone forward,
Forward.
Yes.
and we're still waiting for ours to go forward. So it means I get to come on here an hour earlier than normal. So it's 11
Nice.
o'clock here rather than 3 in the morning or whatever it normally is.
Yeah.
You're up at 3
we're gonna have to
anyway.
eventually, we're going to have to do a different time one just to make it easier for guests.
Yeah.
But Joe has to have it that time, doesn't she, for Australia?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know when they change time. Do they change time the same time you do, or are they on their own thing?
I think they change at the same time as us. But you know what I found out today, which I must have known because I lived in Australia for a year. But the middle of Australia has a half-hour time zone difference. So you know, like everyone else has an
Oh.
hour, they have
No.
half an hour, and
Ugh.
That was
it's not the same top and bottom. So the top part changes half an hour, but the bottom half doesn't. So
Oh.
it's like, how could you keep track of that?
are they just trying to make people crazy? I mean,
Yeah.
is that the purpose of it? Because that would drive me nuts.
Well, they are a
Yeah.
penal colony, and so they don't do things the right way anyway.
And at one part of the year, it's not for the whole year, but at one part of the year, there's a 2.5 hour difference between one state and the next state. So it's not even
Wow.
like there's a state in between. They're literally next door to each other. But can you imagine? I
Wonder
bet
why
some
they-
people live in one state and work in another. Can you imagine that? That
Ugh.
would just.
No.
Wonder why they chose to do it that way.
God knows.
Probably
God
probably
knows.
line somebody's pockets for it or something.
It would probably be some lord, some English lord, probably decided that it suited his, drinking hours or something, and that's why it happened.
Probably.
Probably, the rich always get their way.
Yeah. I have to ask Jo when she's back.
True. We'll have to remember that. So what you working on these days, Neil, besides becoming the king of cross stitch?
Oh yeah. For people who don't know the context, I'm going to be doing cross stitch in the magazine hopefully from next month. This month.
Yay.
No, next month. And I've just been doing a lot of patterns, so I'm trying to get ahead of myself to have some in the back pocket to publish as the months go along. Because they're actually they're quite easy to design because I'm a bit of an artist. And I've got used to using the software for doing knitting patterns. I can churn them out quite fast. But in terms of knitting, everything I'm kind of knitting is a little bit secret at the moment. I've got 2 secret projects. I can show you a little bit of this one, my fishing net. So I'm not even going to say what this is, but it's a fishing net, and I just think it's going to be quite funny when it comes to wearing it. I have no idea what this is going to look like, but I thought I'd give it a try because I quite like it.
All I know is the pose better be epic.
Yeah. It'll be good.
So, yeah, that'll be something in the future.
Sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I hear rumors that there is going to be Shark Week. So anyone who participated last year with PIK, Politically Incorrect Knitters, please be thinking about it because I know they're going to do it again this year. So,
and there's a little bit of a twist this year, I believe.
Yeah, there will be a twist, but I'm not.
Anne told me, but I've forgotten.
But you don't.
I have genuinely forgotten what the twist is. So if you ever need to tell somebody a secret that you don't want anyone to know, tell me, because I can guarantee within 3 weeks It'll have just gone.
It'll be
She
fun.
did mention a twist, but I think it's something that everybody will really enjoy.
Hmm.
So,
Well, it's coming.
yeah. And, you know, I think
Tabitha's
she
here.
mentioned she
Hello,
is.
Tabitha.
No,
Hello.
hey, Tab. And Annie's here too.
Annie.
Have you got a
Well, maybe
haircut,
because-
or is your hair just tied back?
I'll
No,
tell
just-
you later,
Ah,
Tabitha. I'm not going to tell you here, but I'll tell you later. Because we
It's
promised Anne.
Yeah. It's Anne's story to tell.
Annie,
Yeah, it's
has
Anne's story
prom
to tell.
season started?
Oh boy.
Not yet.
Ah, I was just thinking with that dress
Ooh.
behind you, I was thinking that looks very
Yeah.
much like there's something happening.
It is. That's a wedding dress, that one, though. There's another one underneath
Ooh.
it. And I've got bridesmaid dressed. I've got a jacket to alter. And I've got a coat cuffs to alter. And I think that's about it. I've got some trousers to fix because they've bust.
Tabitha, if I tell you and you share because someone bribed you, you better cut me in on it. That's all I'm saying. Because otherwise, I'm going to have to deal with the wrath of Anne. So,
Oh, she's talking about. I wonder who you were talking about then. I was like, hey, what's that?
talking to Tabitha.
Thinking, what's Annie got herself into here?
Sorry about that.
Nothing. You were all on time. I was a bit late.
It's
I had to
okay.
do my bedtime routine.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. I did not make corned beef yesterday.
It's not
I
the
made
corned
Irish
beef ash
stew.
we know, Annie, is it?
No.
Ours comes out of a tin. Well, the corned beef comes out of a tin.
Yeah.
I made corned beef yesterday in the crock pot and it was tough.
I did not
So-
do corned beef this year. I did Irish stew.
I got to
because
go back to doing it in the instant pot because that is the best way.
My family did not want corned beef this year, so
I don't actually know what proper corned beef is. I literally only know it out of a tin. I don't know.
That's
how
proper
you
corned
make it.
beef, isn't it?
You don't get it at the you can't
a
get it at the
brisket.
deli.
It's nice.
yeah, it makes great sandwiches
Mm-hmm.
So why'd you call it corned?
because it's
'Cause
a
it's
brining
pickled.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, right, okay. So it's never
Nice.
seen any corn.
no.
No corn.
No, I normally make it on St. Patrick's Day, but this year we wanted to change, so I did the stew, and it came out really good. I just wish I had had lamb, but lamb is out of my
Add
price
cabbage.
range. No,
Oh,
no,
can't do
not in the
Irish stew
stew.
without cabbage.
Potatoes.
Can in my recipe. You added a can of beer, Tabitha. I did. I put a bottle of Guinness in my stew.
Mm.
That's what it called for,
Yum.
and it came out pretty
Oh.
good. So I like a stew that you can stick in the oven for 3 hours and not have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys celebrate March 18th more than it's 17th, 18th, 17th. I can't remember more than the
17th.
Irish actually do.
Probably. Like
Well-
we need excuses to drink.
No, they just need excuses to make rivers green and all that sort of
No.
nonsense.
I like to be a
I-
pain in the ass and tell people how St. Patrick was actually English. He wasn't Irish.
Well,
Tim will like that.
he was
Because
in
nobody goes on
Ireland,
about
okay?
Yeah.
nobody says anything about St. George's Day here, do they?
No, well, it's almost like if you dare, if you mention St. George's Day, it's almost, you may as well say you're a racist, white supremacist, whatever. Somebody the other day, I don't know whether you saw this, Annie, somebody got into I think it was an MP or somebody saw a Union Jack somewhere and said,
And a butcher's.
oh, was
Yeah,
it
on a
butcher's,
fish and
was
chips. I thought it was a fish and chips.
Oh, that was
place.
it. Fish and chip shop, yeah.
And did they have to take it down? They had to
They told
paint
them they
over it
did.
or something. It's like,
That's what
that's
they
our
said.
country. It's the flag
Was
of
it?
our
Yeah, I know. I keep trying to tell people.
insane.
It's a really good flag as well, ours, isn't it?
Oh, I
Well,
think
the
it's one of
others
the
are.
best. Not like that weird, stripy star weird shit. I don't know what
I
that's
like
about.
the American flag.
Actually, I do as well. I like the Canadian flag as well.
Yes, it's a very nice flag.
Mm.
We're all
I
going to
like
be
Canadian.
under a multicolored flag pretty soon, so don't worry.
What, a rainbow flag by any chance?
Yeah. With brown and black and every other color in it, so whatever.
It's a day of visibility, the trans
What, today?
visibility.
Today?
Yeah,
No,
on
at the
Easter.
end of the month.
Easter. Yeah. No.
It's the Easter Sunday.
Yes. No,
Trans
we're not
visibility.
doing that.
No. Well, can we have a day of trans invisibility? That would be good.
It's funny. I've got a friend, and I went to see her the other day because I look after a cat quite a bit, and we kind of bicker quite a lot. We've known each other for years, and when you get onto those subjects where you shouldn't, and we did, and we kind of had a bit of a not a row, but we kind of had words, and it's so funny because we both have this sort of safety net that we both know to throw in when we're not getting on, and that's to talk about trans people because it's the only thing that we absolutely agree on. So it's always sure to solve the issue,
Oh, that's good.
I don't know. The topsy-turvy world we live in. Did you see that article that said that woke people are more miserable and unhappy than non-woke people?
It's like, wow, how much did they spend on that?
Yeah.
We could have told them that.
Yeah, who decided that study needed to be done? I mean, really.
Yeah. You can't be angry all the time and not have it affect your,
Yeah, exactly.
and they're just angry all the time.
They are.
I mean, I'm angry all the time, but it's at the dog or at the, the thing that just fell on the floor or something, but not angry in general.
The dog. I've got a dog like that.
Oh, how's Millie? How's
Oh yeah, how is Millie?
Yes.
Not well, is she?
I thought we were going to lose her. I really did.
Oh no.
She ate on her own today, but I've been syringe feeding her all. Well, not even food because she only had water until yesterday. But she came from a cat rescue place, and I messaged the lady there and told her how poorly she was, and she said, "We've got some. They're like the sachets that you get cat food in, but it's sort of rehydrator for your cat, and it's like gravy."
All right.
But it rehydrates them and it's got everything that they need to sort of get them going again. And she loved it and they really like it. But I fed her that with a syringe a few times. And then we put a bit of chicken in and she managed to eat some this afternoon.
I'm telling you, gravy has miracle properties.
It does, because when our
and
dog
chicken.
was really sick, she wasn't eating, and we took her to the vet, and the vet's like, I don't know that she's going to make it. He said you could try making her, like rice and chicken and gravy or something. And I did. I cooked chicken and gravy for the dog, and she ate one day, and then that was it. She was fine. I'm like, so all this time you just want me to cook for you. That's what it is.
It's so worrying though when they're ill, isn't it? Because
It is.
Yeah,
because they
she's
can't
lost
tell
weight.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. When she went, she stopped eating and went downhill fairly quickly. But she was 14, which was old for a pit bull.
Yeah.
They only last
mine's-
normally about 10 years normally.
Yeah, 10 to 12.
Oh, well, crap. Because mine is 14 in July.
It depends too, though.
Not
I mean,
Kirsty,
Yeah, but
not-
she's going downhill.
she was a rescue dog. She had hip
Mhm.
dysplasia. We had gotten her from my sister-in-law, who had gotten her from the animal shelter, and then she moved to Utah. And at that time, Utah wouldn't let you have certain dogs unless you had a fenced-in yard, and she didn't have a fenced-in yard. So she said, "Can you watch my dog for a week while we fence in the yard?" And we never give her back. And I didn't want her. I grew up in New Jersey, and the only experience with pit bulls I knew were people who fought them. And I didn't want her around my kids, but as soon as she came to my house and just looked in those eyes, and it's like, nope, I was a goner. She was such a good dog, and
They're nice.
What's the
dogs.
rules here now, Annie, with pit bulls? Because I can't keep up with it because they all were going to be destroyed, weren't they? And then didn't they get a reprieve and said that they weren't going to?
It's the XL bullies now, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which that's an American breed, though, isn't it? That.
Well, it's just I don't know how they've bred them to be, but they're just extra big, basically.
She was.
Yeah.
But are they allowed
she was-
to have them now, or are they?
No, they're not allowed to breed them. They have to have a license. They have to be muzzled in public.
They're
Emily
they're
works in a
very
pet shop.
protective. They're
She
very
had one
protective.
in. Yeah,
Uh,
They're
she had one
protective
in
of
on you know, an extending dog lead. Like
Yeah.
you put a dog like that on an extending dog lead.
Oh no, she could pull me down the street.
She'll
She
drag
was
you down the
very-
street. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're very protective, but they're protective over people, not over things. Like if someone broke in my house, she could have cared less. She would have walked
Right.
over and let them pet her. But the minute somebody went after my kids,
Mhm.
she was an
Yeah.
entirely different dog. When my son
Yeah.
had really bad asthma and stopped breathing one night, and we had to carry him outside because it was winter, hoping the fresh air would help because they say the cold air will shock you. She came out and she wouldn't let the paramedics near him because she
Mhm.
knew something was
Oh,
wrong
no.
with him. And
Mhm.
we had to physically pick up this 90-pound dog and put her in the house because he needed to get treated by the paramedics.
Right.
Yeah.
But she knew something was wrong with him and she just went in complete protective mode. And she loved my kids, but if you broke in my
Mhm.
house, she could have cared less.
Well,
You
they
know,
were
it didn't
originally
faze
called
her.
nanny dogs
Yeah,
because they would be with the children.
Wow.
yeah,
The problem is people don't treat them right, and then they,
Mm.
you know.
yeah. She had been abused as a puppy,
Mhm.
so she was very.
Mine too. Yeah.
She was never aggressive, but she was very vulnerable in some ways. Like
Mhm.
you could tell that she had had bad experiences. But she was
Yeah.
such a good dog for the kids because she never she didn't bark. She never bit anybody. The only time she nearly bit someone, my son, when he was a child, would pull the dog food out of the bowl,
Mm.
and
Oh.
she went over and she
Food.
growled, and he didn't listen, and she picked up
Mhm.
his hand and moved it out of the bowl,
Oh,
and he came running over saying she bit him, and we're like,
Oh.
no, she didn't bite you because if she did, you wouldn't have your hand.
Well,
But she
I'd
didn't
bite
bite
a
him.
kid who tried to eat my food. I can tell you that.
But she didn't bite him. She was very gentle. She just moved his hand out of the bowl to let him know, stay out of my food.
So clever.
Yeah. Oh, she was so smart. She would, like, if we were done eating and if we hadn't cleared the table, she would go over and pull a dish off the table and keep it flat and sit it down on the floor so you wouldn't
Mhm.
hear it. Like she wouldn't drop it. She would hold it in her mouth and put it on the floor so she could
Yeah.
clean the dish.
They're super smart. Ugh.
She knew she was careful we wouldn't hear her and she'd get all the leftovers. She was a smart doggy.
Yeah, they're very smart.
So what's everyone else knitting? So, Therese, what are you're crocheting?
I am crocheting. I'm still. This is my, sit at the 4th of July's blanket.
Well, you've done a lot on
I
that.
can do it here, because I can just boom, boom, boom. I don't have to think about it. And the other thing, besides my super secret Dick Tracy stuff, is my Schallberg, which is almost done, but then I got distracted, so it didn't get done today. So it's getting. Can you see?
That looks really
you can
good.
see. You can't see the colors.
Yeah,
It's
I love
pink
that.
and brown and black.
Yes,
Oh,
nice.
there's my hook.
I love
Um,
that. That's so pretty.
I am almost done.
It reminds
then I gotta
me of a
put
shawl.
fringe.
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
No, go ahead. No, I just have to put
No.
fringe on it once it's done, which I'm not looking forward to because that's
I
too
don't know
fussy.
where it is now, but I did a shawl which was very similar to that, and was in one of these drawers. Oh God! Do you know when you open a drawer and you find wool that you didn't know you had?
Ooh, it's like Christmas.
Yep.
I don't even know where these are from. It's mohair. No, it's not. What is it?
Alpaca, maybe?
No, it's mohair.
Okay. Oh,
Uh,
we'll make an ugly cat shawl.
oh, there's more.
I know.
That bright blue mohair. Do you want this, Annie? Actually,
Ooh.
do you want this?
That's
for
a pretty color.
There's a grey one, like a steel grey. Is that
No,
steel?
I've probably got something
Then-
similar.
And that blue's like.
Ooh,
That's
that's
well
pretty.
bright, isn't it? What makes that?
Uh, I've got a feeling that it's coming back to me now. I think it's Chinese stuff, but it's made in Turkey. But how it got to China from Turkey, I don't know. But I've got a feeling that when I did knit something with this, and I think the dye came off in my hand as I was knitting it. So I think that's why the whole lot got left. It's coming back to me now. Ooh.
I don't need any more, I don't think. I think I've got plenty.
Got an old knit crate, some sock yarn that I didn't. I knew I had it, but I'd completely forgotten I had it.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's quite nice
Yeah,
when you go into drawers that you didn't know was. Yeah, well, where
looks
that
like
shawl
sock
is that I
monkey.
was telling you about, no idea. Oh well.
You'll find it as
It's a
soon as
nice
you're
idea.
done.
Must be a long time since you looked in there, then, is it?
Honestly, I've got drawers here, and it's one of them IKEA units, but it's full of
Yeah.
boxes and things, and every single one of them is full of yarn. But some of them, when I moved house 12 years ago, I flat packed them all, with one of them machines that sucks the air out, and they're all in these tubs, and I have no idea what's in there. I just don't bother looking. And
Time to fluff the stash.
I
That's
know.
right. But then he can't get. If he does, he can't get him back in. After
Yeah, that'll be the thing.
Speaking
They're not
of
still flat
Mark
packed.
Schallberg, I have a finished
Right.
object.
Yay,
The air's come back in it now, but don't know what that is.
Ooh.
I finished my Mark Schallberg shawl,
Yay.
Ooh, lovely.
Cool.
which unfortunately Joe's not here to see because it's a murder knit shawl.
Make sure you bring it next time so she can see it.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
But this is such a good pattern. Thank you, Tabitha.
That's really nice yarn. Whose yarn's that?
That's pretty.
Knit Picks.
Oh,
Wow.
Knit Picks Hawthorne. Both of them.
Hawthorne.
They're Knit Picks Hawthorne, yeah. I did the blue and finished it, but it just wasn't quite long enough, so I pulled it back a little and added the white, which has blue in
That's
it.
okay.
Kind of made it fit. And then I finished the cardigan I was working on last week, which is the last sample for my pattern. Now I just have to block them and then get the pattern written up. So this is the second.
is this the
smallest
one
size.
with the cable across the shoulders?
Yep. The flowers. So this is the second smallest size. So now I know it works in the sizes except for like 5X and 6X, but maybe I'll get a test knitter who wants to knit it in that size when I get to that point.
I would love to know really how many people knit above 5X. You know what I mean? How many realistically do? Because I bet hardly anybody does. Because if you're that size, because I'm pretty, what am I? I'm a 3XL in real life, but I wear 4XL depending on what it is. So I either wear 3XL or 4XL. And if I wear a sweater, I'm usually too hot.
Mhm.
You know,
Well,
it's like I don't
me,
need
me
it.
too.
Really.
Right.
Me too here, but a lot of places get colder. People wear sweaters all the time. But now I'm in the pattern writing phase, which is not as much fun as the knitting phase.
Ah. Oh, I quite like that bit. Although, yeah, you do proper sweaters though, don't you? It's a bit more difficult, isn't it?
You like math, Neil.
Well, I do until it's something really simple like counting stitches, and then I get it wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back to my my ugly cat shawl this week too. I have to pull it
Yay.
out again because I knit a sample and I washed it, and that blue yarn did crop
Ooh.
even with the color catchers. So I'm gonna pull it out and just keep the white yarn and then use a lighter color. But it's fine because I'll use the blue all together, and that way when I do wash it, it'll be fine. Because
Well, I ripped mine back out as well because that Lola Bean yarn, it was just too shit coloured. And I don't mean that in any horrible way. It was literally shit coloured. And all I could think of, it's like, it was brown with green in it. And it was like you're ill, when you're really ill. I thought it's never going to get any better because the next one's red. Brown with red in it.
Ooh, that's not good.
like a
So I
theme
don't know what I'm
going,
gonna
and
do
not a
with
good theme.
Yeah, what was the theme?
Oh, it was
Black
it was
Panther.
Wakanda, wasn't it? Yeah, Black
Yeah.
Panther and Wakanda. So obviously all of them had to have brown yarn in it, which I don't know. When you mix in other colours with brown, you often get a bit of a messy result, really. I mean, there was that wrong with the yarn. I have to say, the yarn was like anyone else's yarn, so I'm not going to, diss the yarn as such. Just not my colours.
I bought
We'll
a,
figure something
a
out.
shawl kit.
You
I
bought a
bought a
shawl
shawl
kit?
kit in when I was up in, was it in Scotland? This year it was one of the shows that I went to. I bought a shawl kit and I thought, oh, I'll have this colourway because this colourway is different than anything that I've got. And then I realised what it's kind of like, yeah, that sort of yellowy colour with bits of red in it. It's pretty like,
Something
God.
septic.
Liz,
Is Liz a nurse by any chance, or a doctor?
Nurse,
I
yes.
bet she
she's
is.
a nurse, yes.
How
How
can you
would I
tell?
know that?
I'm a cat
And-
nurse
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
at the minute, temporary,
Liz-
hopefully.
Liz has her own way of
Yeah.
commenting, and we adore her for it. So please don't hate us because you make us laugh all the time. But and now I'm
We like
working on
Perspective.
something for Tabitha
Oh, that's obscure.
because for her Carol Baskin duster.
Oh,
Mm,
So I'm making a
that
light
bitch.
version of my new pattern. It's going to be a Fingering Week duster version.
Yikes.
Tabitha's gonna knit. Well, no, because I wanted a lighter version so I can wear it more. So I'm only gonna wear the Erin one when I'm up in Utah. So I
Right.
wanted one that I would wear here more. And Tabitha's got plans for an issue of Blocked. So
Oh, I bet she does.
she hasn't told me yet.
She'll tell you. Don't worry.
Neil, it's on a need to know basis, and right now you don't need to
You
know.
don't need to
evidently.
know. She'll let you know when you need to know.
Yeah, she'll let me know it's going on the cover.
Exactly.
How's the ugly cat shawl going, Annie? How you doing?
It's
It's
so
okay.
pretty.
You must be
I'm a-
sick of it by now.
I'm not actually. Do you know what's nice about it is that it's just knitting, and I'm not thinking about other projects, and I'm just doing this one. It's
Yeah,
kind of
once
chill.
once you get it down, each section, you don't need to check anything, do you? You just go and go and go, don't you?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so pretty. Oh.
I am about to
is.
start the last quarter.
Ah, right.
Ooh.
So
It looks so
about 10
squishy.
to go. 10 wedges
Done
to
three
go.
quarters. 10 more wedges to go. Only 10.
Ah,
Of course, she's never going to want to look at mohair again.
That is going to be
I
the
am, though.
hottest shawl in existence.
I've got loads of more hair, so.
people
Yes,
could
Liz,
get
the
married
duster.
under that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could turn it into a prom dress.
yes.
Yeah, it's not my prom.
Or
You
a
could wrap
train
it
for a
around-
wedding. You know, an
could
extra
wrap it
long
around-
train.
You could wrap it around like a toga.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I'm just wondering what to do with my next colour because I really like that one, that
Now, are
pinky
you-
one.
Are you holding the mohair just one strand, or are you holding it two strands?
Yeah, it's just one.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't do
What
that
size
much mohair
needle
that
are you
long.
using?
It's very fine as well. It's a 3 mil, I think.
Right. Wow.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
3. I'm
Bless
using
your
them
heart.
ones.
Oh, yeah. I've got some of those. I don't know whether I like them or not, though. I can't
What?
decide.
I have some, but they're the bigger sizes, and I don't normally use metal needles, so I got those for the ranunculus because I was trying to find ones that were the right circumference, 16-inch to do the
Mhm.
neck,
Mhm.
and I thought I would try those, but I didn't like them. They might be
Mhm.
better in the smaller.
Well, it was because I was having trouble with the mohair sliding off and things.
Mm.
They're still slippy enough to knit nicely with, but it kind of grips them a bit.
Yep.
They grip the mohair a little bit, and the stitches stay on a bit easier. I like it, yeah.
I wish Chowgu would make those Forte needles available as individual needles, because I would like to try them, because I like the carbon fiber carbons, but I like Chowgu needles, so I'd like to try
Mhm.
their carbon fibers, but I'm not spending $300 on a set.
No.
I saw something just in the last couple of days saying they were going to do individual ones.
Oh, good.
Mm. I'm sure you did. The
Hmm.
carbons. I've not used them. I've not tried them.
I like them.
Are they the ones with like a metal tip, but
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're
black?
carbon fiber and then with a metal tip.
What's the other? I have some of the other brand that has them.
Knit Pro,
I just found them. Yeah, maybe.
which is
I
Knitter's
just found
Pride.
them a
It's the
little
same.
bit draggy, but
It depends on the yarn.
mm-hmm.
Like I like them
Here's
for
a
certain
question for
yarns
you.
because they keep them from coming off the needles. Okay. Knitting cotton boobies in Florida on vacation. Do I take metal or wooden needles for being around 80 degrees?
Oh, being in the heat.
I only use wooden, so I use wooden in Las Vegas, but it's not humid, so I don't know.
I wouldn't know coming from here.
Never had to think about that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
What, does the metal burn your fingers if it gets too hot? What happens?
I don't think
It would
it.
get hot.
I don't think
Would
they
it
would
get
get
No,
that
no,
hot.
but unless you're sitting outside in 100-degree weather, they're not going to get that hot.
Right.
I
With
don't
the
think-
sun beating down on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and would you really want to be knitting in that kind of weather?
No.
Probably not. But it's air conditioned here when we're 115 degrees, so I'm not actually. She doesn't knit with cotton too much, so she's not sure.
Mm,
I would think just knit with what you're comfortable with.
yeah.
I don't knit with much cotton either.
Not got
I
any
don't
give in
know.
it, has it? Cotton.
Yeah, I would
No.
personally. I would use metal needles for cotton, but that's just because I find it really difficult with wooden needles because it does catch.
It'll
me.
drag. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Other people would say something different, probably. I don't know. Oh, I've got a little silly project I've been doing. I'll tell you about, which I may be asking for people to help with at some point. I've got a friend. She works in a school, and in a what you call elementary school, so primary school here. And one of her best friends who works at school died just before Christmas. But it turns out I
Oh.
didn't know she was a knitter and a crocheter. And she used to crochet mini little hearts. You've seen them. It's the standard little heart thing. And apparently they give them to kids whose parents have been bereaved, who die or whatever, or if they have to go into care or, all different things. Well, anyway, because this woman's died, they're down to the last 5. So she's asked me to make some. So I've been making, I'll just show you those. So just making them in different colours. Just crocheted. They're dead simple. I timed
that's
myself, so I've
sweet.
got a whole load of them there. I've got to weave in all the ends yet. And I've done a load of yellow ones as well. So basically what I'm going to do is every time I do a project, I'm just going to make one with whatever's left over. And when I've got enough, I'll send them to her. But if anyone else
Aw.
fancies making any little hearts, feel free. And I shall at some point be sharing the school's address if you want to have a go. It's not a charity. Nobody's getting any money for it, but just a thing people can do if they want to.
That's
They're
nice.
actually quite good. I've learned the little pattern off by heart now because it's literally one row of crochet, one round of crochet.
Yeah.
Where you get the bigger stitches and shorter stitches.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it is now off the top of my head. So you chain 2, 3 triple, 3 double, chain 1, a triple, chain 1, 3 double, 3 triple, chain 2, and then you join it all together. So it's just one round. I timed myself. It took me 2 minutes, which is longer than I thought it would. But I think it's because of the fiddling about at the beginning.
That's
And
nice,
that's
though, that they
British
think to do that.
terms, not American.
No, American terms.
Oh, American. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm an American crocheter. It makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I'm both. I'm bilingual with my crochet.
Well, we're probably trilingual because can you do charts as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're both trilingual.
I can do charts. I don't like charts and crochet. I don't know
Yeah,
why. I just
How
never
many
did.
times have we talked about this? We've still got to buy,
You know,
Well, I haven't.
my little
if I
tutorial.
have to, if I have to, I can, but I prefer to have it written out. And knitting, I'm okay with charts though. So it's weird.
It's funny, isn't it? Yeah. I'm a
It's
little bit the
restrictive not
opposite.
being able to do the charts, isn't it?
I
It's
think
I know
it's
somebody
the-
who's a really good lace knitter, but she doesn't like charts.
I think it's
Really?
because knitting is more linear, and where
Hmm.
crochet it's more shapes. And I'm not good with the geometry. Like I have not that my brain doesn't work quite that way. Just looking at a chart and doing it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I like charts for knitting and not for crochet.
I just find it that, with a crochet chart, it looks like what you're supposed to make
Yeah.
at the end. So that's why I
Just-
like it.
Yeah.
Because you know exactly where you've
Yeah.
gone wrong if something isn't quite right. But it's what people like.
Could be
isn't
I
it?
didn't learn. Could be I didn't learn with charts. So maybe
Yeah,
that's
see, I
why.
didn't either. Yeah.
I learned when I was 5, and I didn't see a crochet chart for like 15 years probably
Yeah.
before
At
I ever
least.
saw a chart.
yes.
So at least. So
Yeah,
I
I
could do
learned
it.
when
I
I
just
was
have
little.
to practice.
I kind of came back to it all in my 20s when I calmed down a bit.
Yeah, from your
I came
your
back
punk
to
days.
the knitting and the crochet. I got
You couldn't have
I
gone from two different extremes there, could you?
actually I used to knit punk sweaters,
Oh, really?
punk jumpers.
Ooh.
You know the big holy ones.
Hmm.
Me and my friend at college bought a big long broom handle, and we chopped it into 4 pieces and sharpened the ends and made our own chunky knitting needles. I've still got them somewhere.
Ah, cool.
And made mohair jumpers, but it was, the old mohair that was thicker, like the double knit, and just knit holy jumpers on big needles.
That was a big thing in the 80s, wasn't it? Mohair.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
got orders off the local punks and things for different colorways.
You should have
Now
got to see
it's on
Vivian
my own.
Westwood. She'd have bought
They
some
sold
straight
them.
away.
They sold them in Manchester. They were really expensive in Manchester because I lived down there at the time, and thought, right, I'm going to knit my own instead.
I bet they're back in style now.
Yeah,
All the
probably.
chunky knitting's in style and chunky crochet.
Oh, yeah.
Except now it's with that stupid chenille yarn.
Oh,
Ugh.
I absolutely hate that. Can't stand it.
Really, really chunky chenille.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't like
Mm.
any. I've got some very fine one, chenille, because somebody wanted a scarf making, and he was a real soft ass basically. He said, "Oh, it's going to be really soft," and he said, "I've got this one," and he showed it, and it was chenille. So I went, right, okay. So anyway, I bought it, and it was quite cheap because I got it from Ice Yarns, I think it was.
Mm.
I was knitting with it, and I can't bear it. I had to just put it down. No way, I would never touch it again. It's soft, but but it's a bit like the cotton. There's no give. It doesn't stretch,
Nope.
so it really hurts your hands.
All right, I've got some, but I've never used it. I've got some in my stash.
I have some
Keep
because
it.
I ordered it online. I didn't realize what it was. I was ordering baby yarn for a blanket, and I got that, and I'm like, I tried to crochet with. I'm like, no, it is just not something I
Yeah.
want to do.
It's not
Yeah, I'm
nice.
not a big fan of the novelty yarn. Although I did have this one. I have this scarf. I got it at I got the yarn at Joann's. It was Joann's Angel something. It was some novelty yarn, very fuzzy, very, very soft. It's purple. There you go. Purple. I made a scarf out of it, just like a 2x2 rib or something, really long. I call it my Muppet scarf because it looks like it's made out of Muppet fur. And it's amazing, but it's not something I want to knit with every day.
Yeah,
'Cause
that
it's hard
eyelash
to-
yarn was
hard to wear.
really a big thing,
Oh
wasn't
God,
it? About
that stuff is
15 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knitted
No,
a load
I
of
don't-
teddy bears with that. I mean, they were really
Ugh.
cute and really nice.
I don't want to relive the eyelash yarn.
No. No. Or the ones
That's
that have the tape yarn with the sequins in it.
I made
Oh,
so
God.
many of those roughly crochet scarves.
Mm-hmm.
One year, I think I made them for all the teachers in my daughter's school.
Or like the
Which ones? The
potato
ruffle
chip
ones?
Oh,
scarves.
Yeah, the ruffle ones where you just have
Yeah.
to crochet. Yeah, I can make one in an hour, and
Uh,
we got a bunch of this stuff on sale for like $2 a skein. So I made like 30 of
Mhm.
those, and I went. My daughter handed them out to all the teachers at the school, and they were like, "Oh, thank you! You went to so much trouble." And I'm like, "This is the easiest teacher gift I ever made."
I bought some of that. I think it was 49p a ball on offer because obviously no normal person wanted it. And I thought, oh, I'll have a go, and couldn't do the ruffly thing. I couldn't figure it out, so I just got a really massive pair of needles and just knitted it as one piece, and I made a massive teddy bear with it, and it was
Oh,
quite
wow.
cute in the end. You wouldn't know it was ruffle yarn in the end. But yeah, I wouldn't get it again.
I found a crochet YouTube video of how to make the ruffle scarves.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you just slide like 4 of the holes on, and then the next one you pull through. And then you slide more on, and then you pull it through, so that you're actually creating kind of a chain, sort of, but you're not chaining through each one of the little holes.
Right.
And it was super simple. You could knit it the same way too. My sister-in-law's mother-in-law was knitting them at the time too, to give them away. But yeah, Senko Farm says that stuff to make dish scrubbies is awful. I've not used that, but it doesn't appeal to me.
It's awful to work with, but the result is cool. You know, like it's a really good rag to scrub
Scrubby.
with, but using it is hard. It's hard on the
Wouldn't it be
hands.
hard on your? I was going to say, because it's got to have no give.
Oh, it has zero give. It has less than zero give, but it's great to, you know, clean with, but it's just getting to that point.
Oh, I treated myself to a knitting machine thing, you know, one of the Addy things.
Ooh.
Which
It's
one?
all Amy D's fault because she was talking about it on one of her things. And I thought, oh, because I've had a little one, the sock one, for quite a long time. Never use it. So why I got this one, which I'm not going to use again. I know I'm going to end up just staring at it. But I did. I got some stash yarn, a massive 300-gram ball of some kind of shitty stuff, and I just made this scarf. But what I didn't realise with it, I should have done my research really, is you think it's going to be bigger than it comes. So it literally only comes out. It's about 6 inches wide.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've worked out is that it would actually make a perfect sleeve for me.
Ooh.
And even, hang on, you can't really see that, can you? But even if I put a cuff on it, it would still be right because there's not that much loose yarn there. And if you did a row of decreases with big needles, and this gauge though is 4 stitches per inch, so that's like a huge gauge for me. So I would have to use like 8mm needles, I think, to match it. But I'm going to have a go at just doing sleeves with it because I just think it might be get me off Sleeve Island. Obviously, I'll try and knit a body to go with it.
Well, a lot of people make the flat panels for sweaters and then seam them together as a sweater.
Mm-hmm.
But have you tried doing it on the?
I
I've tried it, and it kind of goes all weird at the end, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but there must be a knack to it.
Can you steak it?
Mm.
I think you probably could if you crocheted down. Amy said she tried to steek it, but she used acrylic, I think she said. You'd have to use wool. But I tell you what came out really well. The first bit I did, because I know you're supposed to do like, I don't know what you call it, but you do so many rounds of a scrap yarn. And I used drops yarn. And that came out quite tight, the gauge on that compared to the other. So I think wool probably works.
Well, wool
works
gives
better.
more than acrylic.
So it's
So it probably does.
Yeah. So, but that is a full skein of drops, 50 grams Aran, or
Wow.
worsted, I should say. So it doesn't go very far, does it?
No. Is it Alaska or something like that?
It's yeah, I think it is. I think that's it is Alaska. Yeah.
Nice, and it's spongy. That it's very. I
Yeah.
find
When
it
you
very
wash it, it's really
spongy
nice.
yarn.
Yeah.
Mm.
So whether I'll do a load more scarves with this, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. But I'm definitely going to do some knee warmers with it because I worked out that the knee warmer size is perfect because I really am going to try some. I know it sounds stupid, but
I think
that's
Amy
why.
makes gift hats, like charity hats with it and stuff.
Yeah.
With hers.
Yeah. I don't like that cinched in look on hats though. You know what I mean? When it's just a square thing and they cinch it at the top.
Well, you could always just pull it off and then just, shorter and then pick it up on needles and knit the
I might do
crown.
one of them chickens with it that everyone's going on about, because apparently you can make a chicken with it as well, can't you?
Mhm.
Why
Jackie
not?
did that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's where I saw it.
I don't have that one. I have the little iCord maker one, which I got for your ugly cat shawl because with the original 290 cast on, I was
The original.
not doing that by hand. And I'm like, oh, I have this iCord. I'll get this iCord maker because I had the really cheap one that didn't work. And then I got the nice tulip one. And it took me like 5 minutes to make the iCord for the shawl.
Wow.
Like, this is the only way to go.
Well,
Except it
Tabitha
makes-
contacted me and she said, do I really need to do this 290 stitch iCord? She said, can I just not cast on and then cast off at the end? So I said, well, yeah, you can, theoretically. But then you're going to have like a 600 and what will it be? No, yeah, will it be 600? I can't add it up. But imagine doing a cast off, iCord cast off, 600 stitches. That would just destroy me, which is why I did it in those two halves in the first place.
The only drawback I had was that my iCord maker is 4 stitches. So
Oh,
I just had to knit 2 stitches together when I pulled it off, and so I'd have 3
Ah.
stitches.
I have
Yeah.
a little experiment you can try that I tried once with a 4-stitch iCord, and I wish I'd written it down because it does something really interesting. If you do a 4-stitch iCord and you, instead of picking up both of the loops of the V, you'd go under, wouldn't you, like that?
Mhm.
Instead of doing that, pick up the bar in the middle of every stitch along the edge, and you can do it on 2 edges of it, so you can work out 2 ways. You'll get a perfect line of knits on both sides, so you'll have a truly reversible piece of work. Whereas if you pick up with an iCord, you only get one side that's right, really, don't you? It's a little bit Mingling Daisy shawl.
That's the one Anne did there. She ran out of yarn and had to
Ugh.
improvise with her
You're not
sharpie.
making me want to do it. Ugh. I mean, I
It's a
love the
pretty-
way an iCord bind off looks. I mean, it's very satisfying.
Yeah, but you know, though,
doing
yeah, but if you're relaxed and you're just sitting watching,
yeah,
something,
you just
get
put
in a
on
groove.
something, murder shows, and just
You just get in a groove and you just keep going until you're done.
Ugh,
I'd much rather do an
500.
iCord bind off than an iCord cast on. For sure.
Well, the other thing you can do, it's not a true iCord, but you can do the crochet version, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's fiddly.
Well, it's not the one I do. The one I do is it's got three sides that look like an iCord. No, 2 sides that look like an iCord, and 1 side that's got bumps on it. But if you pick up from that bump side, it will still look like an iCord.
Yeah, it's just, is that the one where you pull the hook out and then you put it back in?
No, it's dead simple. You just get
then you need to
2
send that to me.
yarns. You know, like can you do a cradle cast on? Is it a cradle cast on? Is that what you call it?
Long tail
Your
cast
long
on?
tail cast on.
long tail.
Where
Yeah.
you go like that, right? You know what I mean, don't you? Well, you do pretty much the same thing. You wrap the yarn over with one of the threads, and then you pull it through with the other, and you get into a rhythm.
Okay.
And you can do it with 2 things. It's very quick.
I know what you're talking about.
It's quicker than doing a chain, even.
Yeah.
I usually cast on all my crochet stuff like that, and you can do it
'Cause
with 2 different colors.
I was playing around with different crochet iCords when I was doing that ropes and twine sweater. And then I was going to cast on the ugly cat shawl, so I got the iCord maker and I ended up using it for that sweater to make the iCords, and that made it so much easier.
I know the crochet iCord thing that you're talking about, and that is a pain, isn't it? Because you have to take it out and leave 3 live stitches and then go into each one, don't you?
Yeah, that's
it's easier to knit it. It doesn't make it any easier, does it? There's another one where you can do a chain. Well, I should have bought one of them instead of this thing because I would get more use out of that. I don't know why I didn't. I'll do that next time. Next time I've got money to burn.
Well, look around because I got mine on Amazon, but sometimes you can find them cheaper on eBay,
eBay. Hmm.
and they're brand new. It's just, especially because some of the cheaper ones I saw on eBay didn't end up being cheaper for me because they were shipping from the UK. But for you, it might be cheaper.
All right.
So
And is it the Prim one? Because that's the only
I got
one
the
that works,
I got
isn't
the
it?
tulip one. I got the tulip.
Tulip. Ah, that's
Yeah.
the more expensive one, isn't it?
It was $40.
The Prim's the
Um,
like purple one that breaks, isn't it? Dead quick.
Yes.
For
I have-
£12.
Yeah, I have that one, and it'll work, but it's fiddly.
Yeah, I think I had it
It's
for
like-
2 days. I used it once and it broke.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Prim one is
I was fighting
the,
with it, you know.
the base is heavier, and the nice thing is you can sit it on a table while you're spinning, and it's got a spot in the bottom where the I-cord will come out, so you can sit it on the edge of the table and crank it.
Right.
It's just sturdier, and the weight is way heavier. Like the weight that comes with it is what the weight that should come with the cheap one, because part of the one with the cheap one is the weight wasn't heavy enough, so
mm.
it kept slipping stitches. But-
Yeah.
I like the Prim one. I'll use it for other things too, probably. But it's come in very handy for the ugly cat shawl. Because I was not, even
Yeah,
though I'm
maybe I
not
need to
doing
write
the
that into
large
the
size,
pattern, don't I?
even though I'm not doing the large size, still
Large
it was nice to
size.
that I think Tabitha and of course Annie, who's almost done, and I think Tara's doing the large size too. She's going to do that one. So
Why are you nutters doing the largest? I don't understand.
I don't know. As soon as you gave me an option,
Why?
as soon as you
Oh,
gave
your
me an option
fault.
for the smaller one, I was like, "Yep, I'm doing the smaller one."
But he kept saying, I think I should make a bigger version. Didn't you? At one
Yeah, 'cause I was
point,
gonna do
because you didn't
one in
realise how
detail.
big it was.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, that is just. It was crazy.
Let's not talk about that.
I was like, no, do a
The
smaller
amount
one,
of sleepless
not a bigger one.
nights I had over that, I can't tell you.
It's going to be the most size inclusive pattern ever in block.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I should get a trophy
Large.
for that.
Large and
Mhm.
larger.
Oh, you'll never get a trophy, Neil. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're supposed to be
but
doing
yeah.
that, aren't we? Didn't the politically incorrect girls do trophies the other day?
Oh boy.
Yeah. I thought we have to plan our award ceremony, remember?
Yeah.
We were going to do
Ah.
our podcaster awards
Oh, boy.
and give ourselves
Yeah.
all awards and all our friends,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
we'll never
we
get
need to do
acknowledged by the other people in the community, so we have to do it ourselves.
I'll get the least likely to finish a make along.
Well, I'm going to
Hey,
get the biggest shawl in the universe.
Yes.
I'm right there with you because I didn't finish my exploration station and I haven't
I don't
cast on
finish
the vest yet.
anything.
I haven't cast on the vest yet either. Anne
Oh, I
says you
get
can
so
have a trophy.
bored.
Well,
Anne
Annie
says you
should
can
get
have
an
a
award for
trophy.
knitting the biggest shawl in the world.
Yes,
should.
she should. The Good Sport Award.
I can't wait till you're done. I want to see how you end
That's
up
good.
photographing it.
too.
Well, I want to come
That's
over.
really
I'm going
beautiful.
to have to come over when you finished it, Annie. I mean, I was going to come over the other day, wasn't I? But it was Mother's Day, so
Yeah, Mother's
I really
Day.
do Mother's Day. Yeah, I'm going to have to come over and see because I'll take the photos if you want, and you can run up and down the beach with the dogs.
That is what I'm planning on
Bless
doing.
Only if you have the theme from Chariots of Fire going in the background.
Yes. There you go. Yeah,
Oh, you're gonna have to
sure.
wear one of those white short outfits. Yeah. Yes, Tabitha. Yeah.
I'm
I
not fast enough for that.
I thought Tabitha was going to be the most likely to never do a gauge swatch.
Oh. Yeah, but I think a lot of us don't.
So
And
did
Joe
you
Bob
swatch
can
it
be the most likely to never knit a murder knit shawl.
all? She said she would knit one, but I don't see that
Yes.
happening anytime soon.
I think she's
So-
relying on Tara, so we gotta talk to Tara.
Yeah. Morgan said she was going to knit one too. She's not doing any
Oh.
test knits for you, is she, Neil?
No, I don't think she is at the moment. I don't think she was
Maybe
doing
she'll-
one, but it was too much. She said so. She's we're not doing that one, so it's no big deal. Going to probably
Maybe
do
I
it
can-
later in the year.
Oh, here it is.
Maybe I can get her to test knit for me.
Don't you steal my test knitter.
I'll ask her. The difference is I'll ask her. I won't just say, here, Morgan,
I
test
ask
me
her.
this.
And I say to her, don't be afraid to say no. I always say that to her.
BS is fighting the good fight with local government.
Oh boy.
So
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone gets as much as finished as they like, Kat says.
No.
There's too
No.
Not
many
enough
things
time
to
in the
make.
day, is there?
No.
No, there's not. That's for sure.
And now, because of it's all Therese's fault and who's the other cross stitcher. So now I'm going to end up doing some cross stitch, which is going to completely mess up my knitting plans.
DK cross stitches
I
too.
I seem to recall that things were the opposite direction. Somebody said, "Hey, any of you cross stitchers, tell me what you think about this."
I do believe
Then-
that's kind of how that went.
Somebody jumped
Yeah.
in with 2 feet, so I can't be blamed for that.
I've done some, but not for a long time.
Yeah, I've
I
only
haven't done it either in a
2
long
things. I've only ever done 2, and I enjoyed it at the time, but it's just so slow for me. Well, even knitting's slow for me, but
I did it when I got tired of crocheting because I mostly just crochet blankets. That's all I used to do.
Mhm.
And I got tired because I'd pretty much crocheted sweaters, scarves, hats, blankets.
Mhm.
And I went back to cross stitch for a while. And then I decided to learn how to knit. And then I haven't touched the cross stitch. It's in storage. So
I think
I go
why
in
never carried
phases.
it on. I
Yeah.
didn't like the patterns really, but now that I can design,
They're
my
so
own,
much better now. Yeah.
yeah.
They were always not to be rude to old ladies, but I always felt they were a bit Victorian and a bit old ladyish. You know what I mean?
They're either Victorian or they were a little girl chasing geese.
Or yeah, they were very very folk art or Victorian.
Yes.
Or some woman in a flowy long dress.
Yes,
Yeah.
with an umbrella,
last-
a parasol.
The last
yeah.
ones I did were ones for my kids. So I would take pictures and then have the charts made online, do the chart, turn them into a chart online. Like I have one that's the silhouette of all the Avengers and one that's Flash that I did for my daughter. And I have one that's from Firefly. It's the flag. And then you see the Serenity ship in silhouette in black. I did that and just stuff for them, but they all need to be framed. So they're all in storage till I want to pay to frame them.
I have a stack right there of finished ones that need to be finished.
Yeah.
You know when you cross stitch onto garments, so you do it onto a t-shirt or a shirt. How do you do that? What do you have to use to do
It's
it?
called
get
waste
the written-
canvas.
You get waste canvas, and basically you baste it on, you stitch on your design, and then you soak it in water,
off.
and the waste canvas pulls off.
Yep.
Wow.
I used to do
easy.
sweatshirts back in the day.
I did too for my kids when
back-
they're little. Yep.
Back when it was the in thing, to have
Yes.
personalized sweatshirts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you do it the waste canvas, and then you just do cross stitch like normal, and you soak it in water, and the wax or the starch, in the
Canvas, you
waste
just pull it
canvas
out. Yeah.
comes out, and then you just pull it out.
Wow.
I'm sure
Easy
they still sell
peasy.
that stuff.
They do.
I haven't been to a cross stitch store in years
So,
because it was too expensive to go.
You don't use a hoop, do you, Therese? You just do
I
yours
don't.
in your hand, don't you?
I do it in hand. Yeah.
Do you
I-
not get
I
that
used to.
noise though? Because I love that noise. That
Oh, with the
You know,
tension of it
the-
going through.
that's the
Oh,
best
yeah.
bit of cross stitch for me.
I still get a
Um,
little bit of it in hand, but I used to
use
do
a-
a hoop all the time.
I use a hoop except when I did the waste canvas because the waste canvas
Yeah.
was stiff, so I didn't
Yeah.
need a hoop with
Ah.
that.
So that's
It's
probably
so-
easiest to use then, is it? Because of that, because it's stiff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's pretty easy to use. You
It's
just
easy.
Pick whatever pattern. You just have to make
Mhm.
sure you have enough surface area for your pattern.
Yeah.
The last one I started was a chart I made when my daughter was baby. First time my son got to meet my daughter when she was born, and it's in black
Wow.
and white. But it was
Mhm.
making me insane, and I think that's when I put it aside and decided to learn how to knit. but it's from my favorite photo of them when they were little. Because
Mhm.
he wouldn't have anything to do with me after I was in the hospital for 2 days with having a sister, but he was really happy to see a sister. Ignored me, wouldn't talk to me, wouldn't have anything to do with me, but he liked the baby. So, but oh yeah, onesies with cross stitch situation.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, though I did baby stuff too. Come to think of it, but that was a long time ago. And
And I was telling Neil because he said something about backstitching. I'm like, oh no, we don't do that anymore.
Oh, I think your exact words were, "That's so 80s."
So,
honestly, it
Yeah.
depends on the design, though.
Yeah.
well, there's certain
there
things
are-
that you have to backstitch, but they, back then, 80s and 90s,
Everything
every
was back-
single detail on it was backstitched, and it's like
Oh, like an outline around everything.
outline around
Yep.
every
Mhm.
part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I used to crochet blankets, single crochet blankets, and then cross stitch on the top of them,
Oh,
and
okay.
then crochet a second panel the same size and stitch them together so you couldn't see the back of the cross stitch,
Mm.
and you'd have a double thick
Right,
blanket.
I've seen people
Yeah.
doing cross stitch on Tunisian crochet,
Yes,
Oh,
my aunt
okay.
used to do that.
Huh.
but I've
She-
never tried that myself. But it just looks too thick to me. It looks like it would be too bulky.
It depends on how dense the Tunisian crochet is. If it's a lighter yarn, then it's not going to be as dense. My aunt would make blankets, but mostly she made wall hangings
Mhm.
with the Tunisian. My brother has one that's a big Firebird
Oh.
that she did.
Huh.
She would get my cousin to actually do the crochet, and then she would do the embroidery. But that was years ago.
So, Neil, is your tension as tight as in crochet or Tunisian crochet as it is in knitting?
I don't think so. I think, if anything, I think I'm a bit looser than average in crochet. I think. No, I think it's about right. I think in crochet, but it's everyone else who knits wrong, not me.
We're all
we'll
The
tell
rest
that
of
to
you are
Tabitha.
too loose.
Yeah, we'll tell that to Tabitha.
You're the problem.
Well, in a way, though, now that I'm kind of learning how to get a wider gauge, using much bigger needles, it makes my knitting more varied in a sense, because I could knit at a really tight gauge if I wanted to kill myself, that probably other people can't even get to. If I knitted on a 0mm needle, I don't know what that would come out like.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because I get that from a 3mm needle. I don't know. Is a 0 2mm?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I get that gauge at a 3mm needle.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So it'd be. Oops. Sorry.
That is tight.
I always forget to do this. There we go.
Um,
Oh, it's ringing on my
what
iPad
size-
now.
What size needle do you use for socks?
3mm and 3.325. So
For
I usually
fingering?
do the cuffs with 3, and I do the sock itself with 3.25. That's if I'm doing fingering.
Wow.
Wow.
But if I was doing a
Right.
shawl, say, with fingering, to get a nice gauge, I would probably use 4mm needles. DK, I would use 6mm needles now, and Aaron, I would use 8mm needles now, and I would get the same gauge as you.
Mm.
Wow. I use a 2mm when I did socks.
Mm.
Yeah. 2.25 I use.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever used my anything less than a 3mm in the sets I've got. I think they're still in the pockets.
Yeah, well, you can use your sets, can't you? I only use the small end of my sets usually.
I usually
I only
do.
use the other end. We should
They
get
go
a
up
step
too big
between
for you
us, Danny.
to ever need. Yeah.
I never. The only I used 5 a couple times for hats, but most of the time I don't go above like a 3.5 or a 4.
Well, BS is
Yeah.
saying she knits with a US 0 for socks. Wow.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's a 2 millimeter. Yeah.
That's what I do. Well, it's funny because I started out with the US 3 when I first started doing socks, and I saw people and they were doing it on 1s, and I was like, that's crazy. How can anybody do anything on a 1? And now I'm down to a 0. So never say never.
Oh, Holly's in the hospital. We hope you feel better.
No.
We're sorry you're in the hospital,
Mm.
and we're amazed that you're here with us.
Yeah, thanks for
Hopefully you won't be
Sorry,
there
I'm going to have to
long.
take my jumper off.
Too hot.
Too warm.
Aren't we supposed to be getting snow this week?
Um,
You can't hear us, can it? Just saying, aren't we supposed to be getting snow this week?
I saw something about it, yeah, but I don't believe them.
Then they've been saying that you're going to get it next week since Christmas, haven't they? Next week it's going to snow, and it never does.
every time I keep hearing on the news that you guys are going to get snow.
Yeah, it never
I-
happens.
They're obsessed,
But
aren't they, with the weather?
Yeah, we'll have another one of those
Just-
threat to life warnings. There's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
some
Just look
snow.
out the window.
right.
Snowpocalypse or polar
Oh,
something.
Snowmageddon or
Snowmageddon. That's it.
There was
Oh,
the beast from the east.
Kate Middleton.
where is she?
She was out
Is there some
yesterday.
news?
She was out
Well-
yesterday shopping.
Well, the people are saying it's not her,
Mm-mm.
and that it
It was
might be her
her.
sister.
It was her.
No.
Her sister doesn't look that much like her.
No,
Come
she
on.
doesn't.
People are crazy. It was her. She was with her husband. Let the poor
One
woman
of the
alone.
theories I like is that she's had a facelift, and it's taken that amount of time for it to heal, which makes sense because she's in her 40s, so she's in the
I don't
public
think
eye.
so.
And if you look
That
at
was what
happened
was
to
wrong with
Madonna-
that photograph. On that photograph, I thought she looked way too young.
Mm.
It looked like
You
an old picture of her.
All I know is everyone is allowed to Photoshop their own damn photos. Who doesn't Photoshop their photo before they put it online? I mean, really.
I don't.
Me.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't do any cropping or anything. I mean,
Oh, I'll
Oh,
crop.
crop. Yeah,
Well,
crop.
that's
I
Photoshop.
don't
It's not
put filters
Photoshop.
on or anything.
I don't swap my
Wouldn't-
hands round.
yeah, but
If I was going to Photoshop, I'd put my beard on the top of my head.
that would be weird. But okay, Neil, if that's what you want to do.
Did you see the one with all the cats?
What, Kate Middleton?
No, that they took that photograph with the children, and then there was like cats sitting all over them. They're cute.
Didn't see that
Yeah,
one.
that Louis, Prince Louis. Oh, Louis, isn't it? Not Louis.
Louis.
Prince Louis has
Yeah.
got some very strange fingers. That's all I can say.
Yes.
They were kind of deformed in some way, weren't they?
I'll leave them be. Your people, let them just be. I mean,
I weren't really interested. I didn't notice she was missing. It was only because everybody's been going on
know.
about it.
I only thought about it the first time because of Texas Peach Knit saying that some of her friends in Texas have been asking about it. And I hadn't even noticed she hadn't been on the telly or been around. Well, I don't really watch telly, but
I'll be right
I
back.
don't click on anything about them or anything.
yeah. Although I'm watching the latest season of The Crown at the moment, which has been pretty good. She's very good at doing Princess Diana, that girl, whatever her name is. Have you seen
All
it?
right. No.
Yeah, it doesn't paint any of them in
I'm
a good light,
behind
though.
on it.
It'd be quite
Hmm.
realistic then.
I think I'm missing the last season.
Yeah, I never liked Princess Diana. I know Americans loved her, but I never liked her. I don't know. I thought she was a bit manipulative.
Well, yeah. Yeah. She was, wasn't she?
And it kind of something came up in it where she deliberately made sure that there were swimsuit photographs of her when it was Camilla's 50th birthday, so that her swimsuit photos would be on the paper instead of Camilla's birthday pictures.
Right.
Oh, someone's asked me, did the TV... Oh, BS has asked me, did the TV police come to get me? No, they won't do either. So I got another threatening letter for not having a TV license, and
Yeah.
because I don't have a TV, and and yeah, I just ignore them because they send one every month, and they've done so for 10 years now.
Wow.
I wish I'd kept them all, and I would have had them bound into a book. Because you can literally see it's like a cycle. There's 4 or 5 letters that they send, and they get progressively more nasty, and then they go right back to the beginning again and send them all again, one after the other. But yeah, they're supposed to be knocking on my door on the 24th, I think it is. But they won't. They won't be there. And if they are, I'll just ignore it.
That's crazy.
We had the
You have to
water board
prove you
round.
don't have. What's
The
that?
water board.
We've
Water
lived here for 24 years, very nearly, and they've just discovered that
You've never paid.
so the kitchen's sorry?
What, that you've never paid your water rates?
Oh yeah, we pay it. The kitchen's an extension, and when they did it, they must have reconfigured where they put the sink and the waste from the washing machine. So that all goes down the runoff, which is from your roof, and it should go down where your toilet goes down instead. So they said you've got 2 months to put it right.
But you have.
Yeah. Took them
What?
24 years to find it, and we've got 2 months to put it right. And he said, I'm sorry to give you such bad news. And I said, well, it's bad news for you as well, isn't it? Implying that I'm not going to be doing it.
Yeah.
Well, what are they
It's
going to
not
do
like the
to you if you
toilet's
don't?
going down the wrong pipe.
What are they going to do to you if you don't do it? What can they do?
I don't know. Well, the first letter they sent mentioned it's unlawful. I thought, oh, get lost with your law stuff. But I got in touch with our plumber, and we had 2 options because we've got concrete floor. And one option was about £2,000 worth, which was to drill a channel through the middle of the kitchen floor, progressively getting deeper, because it has to cross to the other side of the kitchen. The kitchen's got 3 outside walls, but the grid that it's supposed to go down is at the back, and the sink's at the front. So it's either go down through the floor or go round the house with a pipe.
Well, surely
And then
that's
underneath
like
the patio?
The builder of the house surely is the person that should have done that.
Apparently, they'd still even done after plan it on pass it on planning permission for extensions.
Oh, so is it because you've had an extension on the house?
But we haven't.
But somebody
It was
did
already
before you.
extended.
Right.
The house was extended. So there was the builder, there was the planners, there was the people from the council who said it was all right.
Oh,
There was the owners of the house, and we've been here for 24 years, and suddenly we've
Now
got
it's a
2
problem.
months to do it right. Yeah.
They're a bit.
So yeah, I shouldn't have let them in.
Yeah, well, yeah. They're a bit toothless, though, aren't they? Who's your water company? Is it?
It's Northumbria.
Oh, right. Oh, I don't know them because mine's United Utilities, and I didn't pay my water rates for 12 years, and they finally contacted me. I just forgot to do it, and nobody ever contacted me. And one day I got this letter saying, when did you move in? And it's like, oh shit, water people, I've not paid. But they only wanted 700 quid back pay for 12 years, and it's like,
wow.
Is it about 400 quid a year normally?
Yeah.
Well,
like
for
that.
me in a flat, it would be that. So I paid the 700 quid, and they didn't want any of the others because they knew they wouldn't get it, basically. Because
Well,
I don't think they're allowed to go far back enough.
We had free cable for a long time because we bought my husband's grandmother's house when she died, and his aunt went to all the utilities with the death certificate and, cancel all the utilities, and the cable didn't cancel. And she went again, and they didn't cancel. So for about 9 years, we had free cable before they eventually realized and turned it off. So it's not like she didn't try to turn it off. If we figured it was on them at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, BS is asking, did they not send a bill? So I don't know about you, Liz, but no, I didn't get a bill. I think I was just
We didn't either.
overlooked. Yeah.
We
So,
didn't
and I
either.
just and I genuinely forgot, because I was a bit like, when I first got the letter saying that, that I'd have to start paying, I was like panicking, thinking, oh my God, 15 years worth.
Wow.
Well, evidently here with the cable, it would cost more to send somebody out,
Mm.
shut it down, than to let it keep going. So it wasn't
Wow.
until somebody like one of the neighbors had moved and was changing the getting cable that they came out and realized that it was still on.
Wasn't
Yeah,
there an
otherwise they
episode of
would've
The
just left it.
Simpsons where they had free cable?
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
They've had an episode about everything.
That is the truth.
Oh yeah, BS. Other things, government stuff. Yeah, they're hot on the bills. We can't get away with them. Our council tax bills. We've just had our new ones, haven't we, Annie?
Yeah, we
and
have.
they've just put them up. So what do we pay now? It's well over £1,000 a year council tax we have to pay.
Mine's over 2.
Yeah, well, yeah, it all goes on the property, doesn't it? How big your property is.
Yeah.
So Annie's rich.
I'm not.
Well, not after paying the council tax bill, you won't be.
Now,
property
that-
property prices are cheaper up here,
is
Mm.
that like property tax, or do you have to pay property tax on top of that?
That's on top of property tax. It's for things like, or what they say it's for is things like your fire service, your police service.
But that should be the property tax.
That should be your property tax. Yeah.
Yeah, your bins and your street lighting and
Yeah, your
things like
bins,
that.
yeah. And stuff they don't do, like cleaning the streets, which they don't.
They do less. They do less and less as time goes on.
I'd love to know where that money goes. I've actually asked them. I did a Freedom of Information request recently to find out. I want a proper breakdown of what percentage goes where, because they don't give you that very often. Because a lot of it is wasted, just wasted on, sending the mayor to places. It's like, well, because we have something called a mayoral precept, I think it's called. Have you ever heard of that? I don't even know what that means. So because we've got a metropolitan mayor who's Andy Burnham, we have to pay X amount of money towards his office for him to be able to do his job. And he's not even my city, because I live in Salford City, and
that sounds
he's the mayor of
suspicious.
Manchester City, but I still have to pay him.
Oh, right, yeah. Never thought about that.
That's suspicious.
We have
Yeah.
a Teesside mayor. There's a mayor of Teesside.
Is he a ceremonial mayor, or is he
Oh, Tees Valley. No, we have both. We have a ceremonial and we have a...
because I think my city is the only city in the world that has 3 mayors. We have a ceremonial mayor, we have the mayor of Salford, and then we have Andy Burnham, the mayor of Manchester, and they're all responsible for different things, and you've got no idea who to contact if anything goes wrong.
All right. So do you like the other guy who's challenging Burnham?
Oh, what's he called?
I can't remember, but I was listening to a video. I'm rubbish with remembering names, but he seems really good.
Is he a Lib Dem by any chance?
I don't know. He's not the one. No, he's not the one that was being shouted at by that woman, is he?
Oh,
No, that's
Lee
someone
Anderson.
else. That's
Yeah.
someone else.
No, I don't know who's standing.
I can't do this. Oh, cold now.
What yarn is that made out of? Because that looks really cozy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. It's hand knitted, and I bought it in a charity shop.
Oh, nice.
It's got gold in it. It's
Mm.
like
Ooh.
it's got a little bit of gold thread through it, but it
She is
it's
rich.
kind of like me house. It's my house jumper.
It's like
Really?
teddy bear colour, isn't it? You know, the old teddy
Yeah.
bears.
Mm.
It kind of looks cuddly and warm.
It's just plain, and yeah, it is. It's warm and just
Too bad
Not
you can't
fussy.
just wrap yourself up in that shawl while you're knitting it.
Right?
well.
Probably
That
good
might be
now,
why I got a bit hot.
With the mohair, just wrap it
Mohair.
around and
It is very
We
warm.
just have your arms sticking out and knitting it.
Probably could, yeah.
Well, think of your heating bills next year. They're going to be really low once you've got that shawl.
That's right, because she can just walk around wrapped up.
Absolutely.
It'll be the new
You should-
fashionable trend in the UK. Everybody
You
will
should
want
pay
one.
me some electric bill money.
It's like the Lenny Kravitz scarf.
Yeah.
Only Lenny
So-
Kravitz can pull that off.
Well, Lenny Kravitz is unique.
Yes, he is.
To be fair, I don't think he even really pulled that off, did he? He still looked ridiculous.
Well, yeah, but we would look way more ridiculous, I think.
Too. Yeah. That's crazy.
Where is she? Is she in Scandinavia
She-
or is she?
No,
in
she's
America?
in England. She just moved.
Oh, is she?
She's been
Oh.
she's been in London for years, but I stopped watching her during COVID because she annoyed me. And
Ah.
I know she moved though. I think she finally graduated and got her PhD.
I don't think I've
Wow.
ever watched her.
I used to like to watch her because she was very no nonsense and, you know, didn't
can't
worry
think who
about
she
what
is.
other people's designing styles. Ellie,
Mhm.
is there, but then she got really woke
Mm.
and she's friends with your favorite Scotland yarn dyer or former yarn dyer, Neil
Which one's that in
Mm.
Scotland? Which one?
Stranded.
Mm.
Oh, yes. I forget that Stranded's in Scotland because she's not from Scotland. Is she from Brighton originally? Or
I think
Bournemouth
so.
or somewhere like that? She's from the coast, isn't she?
I don't know.
Mm.
I saw that there wasn't going to be any more Stranded.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's I think I've said this before, but I wonder how much of that is hormonal, you know, and whether the hormones have made her interested in different things,
Or
you know.
not having her mom around.
Oh, to do all the hard work. Yeah. Yeah. I don't
think
think
it probably was hard work. I think it probably was hard work, and that studio looked well. It was cold, wasn't it? She was paying extra for that.
Mm.
I'm sure
And-
there's mental issues. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, lots of different circumstances as well, isn't there? I mean, I don't know if
Mhm.
she's renting out that her parents' property.
I think she's moving. She's planning to sell her house.
She
Yeah,
might not.
she's-
She might not need to be dying.
Yeah, because she's got the two properties, and I've got a feeling that her parents bought that property in Scotland for her because it would have been quite cheap. Well, I say cheap; it would have been cheaper than in the south where she's from.
Right.
And it's a different system of purchasing in Scotland, isn't it? It's a bidding system, isn't it?
Oh.
It's not
I
it's
don't
not
know.
like our system. It might be more like the American system. I don't really know how the American purchasing system goes. But you all put a bid, you all put a closed envelope bid,
Mhm.
and it's they don't know who's actually won it. They just pick whichever one they want, you know, the highest one.
Oh, no, that's not how it is here.
No, I mean people will bid on houses if a house is for sale and it's popular, but it's not like hidden.
Right.
You know.
It's only in Scotland they do that. They don't do it in England or in Wales, as far as I know, anyway.
They don't, but we did.
Is that what you
we
did?
did. Yeah, because this house was going for a good price in a good area, and there was too many offers on it.
Mm-hmm.
It needed stuff doing. That was why, but there was quite a lot of offers on it.
Hmm.
So we went to a closed bid, and me and my husband decided what we were prepared to pay, and then I stuck £500 on, and we won.
Wow.
And when I went and got when I got
Yeah.
the keys, she said it was a little bit extra that you put on that did it.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was
Cinco
pleased with
Farms has
myself.
it.
Yeah.
Wow, so that 500 quid was probably,
Yeah,
which isn't a huge amount of money when you consider the
Uh-uh.
amount that you're buying.
No. Yeah.
Senko says this is how it wins here to whoever has the most
Whoever
money.
has the most money.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas it
Yeah, now-
generally here, it's whoever they say yes
They
to.
just
first.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
if
Agree.
only 2 people come,
I mean-
you go with the
I
one
mean,
who
someone
offers
can
the
make
most.
an offer, and if they accept it, they accept it.
Right.
But if they've got a bunch of people who want it, they'll make bids, and a lot of times the bids will be higher than the asking price, and
Right.
it'll usually go to whoever bids the highest.
Right.
Yeah.
Or we've been having big corporations buying up single family homes.
Yep. The one I live in was bought by a big corporation.
Mm.
So our renters are now in Minnesota, the owner.
And
Mm.
why are they doing that? Is it to rent to welfare or
Just to rent so that
migrants
people
or-
don't own things.
You will own nothing and you'll be happy.
Yep.
Except yarn.
Yes.
You can
Except for
own
yarn.
yarn.
Oh, imagine that fight with Tabitha. Oof. Good luck with that one.
Because she'll fight you, you know.
Say that again.
Definitely.
There's still what?
I said she'll fight you.
Yeah. Oh, she'd have all the kids and everything with those guns on that wall. There'd be a little army, wouldn't there?
Come and take it.
That's like my
What's
son
that thing?
moved.
You'll have to prise it out of my cold, dead hands. Isn't that the saying?
Yep.
My son has a few guns, and he recently moved. And when he moved, he took like 2 of them with him, and he had to get a gun safe and everything there. But every time he comes home, he ends up taking another gun back with him. And it's just kind of funny. I'm like, at this rate, we're going to have all this empty space in our gun safe. We can buy more guns if we need
There
it,
you go.
because most of the guns in there are his.
This
Oh.
is such a strange conversation for us, Annie, isn't it? Talking
Yeah,
about
it
Yeah,
is.
but
what you would,
we
you
go
know.
shooting. We go to the gun range. We go target shooting. We can protect our family if somebody breaks in.
I'd have one if I lived there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I mean-
if you moved, so say if I moved to America, not that I'm planning to move, but how long would it be before I was able to have a gun? Because what do you have to go through to be able to get a gun?
Oh.
You have to legally not be a criminal.
So is it like you have to have a driving test? Do you have to do anything
No.
like that, or can you literally?
No,
just
you
buy
fill out a
gun?
form. You fill out a form, a background check form,
Mm-hmm.
and
Clean
you go to the
record.
gun store. You fill out, if you have a clean record and you don't
Can't
have
be
any
a
mental.
uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Cherry
yeah.
picking.
Can't be a felon.
Well, no, you can't be a felon. And yeah, I mean, as long as that's good, you get. Most times it's same day. Back when
Wow.
end of Obama and then during Biden's first term, well, still his first term, but the beginning of his term, so many people were buying guns that you would have to wait like 2 to 3 weeks before you got your approval, even though because there was just so many gun applications going through. Like Obama was the biggest gun salesman in America because so many people were buying guns.
Mhm.
And it finally got to the point where ammo has finally gone down and gotten reasonable again.
It's getting
Because
better,
For a
yeah.
long time, it was extremely.
If you could get
Yeah.
it, you couldn't get ammo.
Yeah.
Can you
couldn't
hear
get ammo.
bagpipes, by the way?
No.
Can you hear
Do
what?
you not hear it? No, I've got
No.
when it's windy, and it's windy at the moment, I've got a gap in the window in the kitchen, and it plays bagpipes through the window, and sometimes it's like as if there's a bagpipe player in the room, and I can hear it in this ear, which is my deaf ear, in fact. So I thought you
Now,
might.
if you want to conceal carry with, like in
Yeah.
your purse, or you have to go through a class and get
Class,
certified
uh-huh.
for that.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can
8
own
hours.
a gun. If you're 18 and younger, you can own a long gun at 18. Sorry, at 18, you can own a long gun. You can buy a long gun. 21, you can buy handguns. You can own a handgun if you're younger, if someone bought it and transferred it to you, but you can't buy one if you're between 18 and 21.
So is
Um,
being a felon the only thing that stops you being able to get one?
I think certain domestic violence things you
Mhm.
can't. Certain mental things you can't. Like now there's red
Mhm.
flag
Right.
laws where they're, and it depends on where you live, because in some states and
Mhm.
cities, even when you legally can buy a gun, you can't, because they have local laws that say you have to have approval by the local
Mhm.
sheriff, because
Oh.
they're trying, it's their way of gun control. Even if there's nothing wrong with you, they can say you can't have a gun. And DC is one of them. Certain cities in Illinois,
Mhm.
and So, and a lot of states now have constitutional carry, which means you can conceal
Mhm.
carry without having the permit, but not all the states.
Oh yeah, and BS is saying Anne lives in a free state. So what does that mean?
Constitutional carry.
Yeah.
So everyone's got the right to carry, regardless.
Well,
Well,
over
and
the
the-
age of
Need to be
18. And yeah.
Oh, Anne says it takes 15 minutes to get a pistol permit, and
Mhm.
you don't really need it, but you have to be 21 to get a handgun
Wow.
permit.
That's easier than getting a TV license. OMG. And do you have
It's
to
true.
prove you don't have a gun, and so you don't need a gun license?
Right.
Nope, you don't have to prove that.
Mm. Yeah, it was a pesky
Wow.
boating accident. It was unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of bad boating accidents a few years ago,
Mm-hmm. It's tragedy.
fortunately. Sad, very sad.
Yes. It's kind of funny because David actually did have one. He flipped his kayak and lost his 9mm Glock in the lake, in the river. So
That's
it was
terrible.
a true boating accident. Sad.
Is it a bit like a mobile phone? Do you have to put it in a bag of rice once it gets wet? What-
Oh, we couldn't find it. It was in the river.
Oh, right.
We went
Depends on the gun.
about a month later. We went magnet fishing for it. A friend of ours had a boat and took us out, and we went magnet fishing, but we couldn't find it.
So how much would something like that be?
I was just going
Depends
to say
on
that.
quality.
400. Depends.
Yeah, if you
They're
want a
on sale
decent one.
sometimes.
You want a decent one, yeah.
Yeah, 400.
Um,
I mean, you get crap ones, but you get what you pay for.
exactly. We have long guns and handguns
Mhm.
here, and they're fun to go shooting. I mean, it's fun to
Yeah.
go out to the range and just target shoot.
Yeah.
And my husband used to be a firearms instructor when he worked security, so he studied and taught
Mhm.
classes on it. So my kids have known gun safety since they were toddlers because they were in the house. So it's
I
Never
know
been
if
a
I
thing to be
get
worried
to have a
about.
go, I know I won't even hit the target.
you would be
It's
surprised.
not that hard.
It's
I think
not.
the target would have to be like about a foot in front of my face, I think.
You'd be surprised. And it's like anything else. It just takes practice.
Practice. Mhm.
I was not raised with them. It was not something we ever had growing up, and it was not something I really wanted until I came out here to visit my husband one time before we were married, and he took me to the gun range, and it was just fun. And I was like, oh, okay. And he taught me all the safety stuff, and so I wouldn't be afraid to have him in the house. And now it's like, if someone's going to break in, I know at least we've got, we can
Mhm.
defend ourselves.
Yep.
And that's more likely to happen these days than other days. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
crime is
Yep.
really
We don't
big
have that
here in
luxury,
America.
unfortunately. If somebody breaks
Nope.
into our house, we have to be careful we don't hurt them because we'll be the ones that go to prison.
Well, I mean, we still have that risk too
Yeah.
because,
Yeah. Yes, our
Yeah, when you
president
shoot
said
them in
you
the
should
back
just.
as they run out.
Our president said you should just fire up in the air to scare
yes.
them because he's a moron.
And now he said that, they know that you're only going to fire in the air to scare them. So it's kind of like a bit of a pointless thing to say, isn't it?
But that's
Yeah.
it's not exactly legal. So,
No. What kills me is all these politicians and celebrities and all who get on their gun control bandwagon. Yet
control.
they all have armed security.
with all their bodyguards and
Yeah, it's like, okay, fine. If I can't have a weapon to defend my family, then you shouldn't get one either. And for them to say, well, I'm so and so, well, your life isn't more valuable than my child's life. So,
but
no.
they're a celebrity, of course it is.
But the
No.
person that breaks in is going to have a gun as well, aren't they? That's the thing.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Whereas some
scary.
here would, but I don't think most would.
Well, and here's the thing. We have all these gun control measures on the books that don't get
Hmm.
followed.
Right.
And even if they did, criminals don't follow the law by the very nature that they're criminals.
Exactly.
So making more gun laws is not going to make them follow them.
No.
I mean,
And the laws about who can have a gun and who can't have a gun, because the criminals will still have them, won't they?
Yes.
Whether they're
exactly.
supposed to have them or not.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've had a gun pointed at me in Bury, not far from Oldham. You know,
Have you?
yeah, and it was like
That's
for me that
frightening.
was kind of all the places I've lived. You know, like in East London and Salford, for it to happen in Bury. But what I didn't know is that Bury is the drug capital of the UK.
Wow.
You know, for supply, and it's like wow, that is like such a small town for that to be.
Do you know what? I don't believe any of them things that they say. I
Smart.
seriously don't. Because they say that Stockton was, which is just a
Where's
small
that?
town near here. It's near here,
Right.
Stockton. Also, there's, that I mentioned before about this police show being on the Cleveland Police, which is our local police. They were coming up with all these statistics and saying it's like Teesside's the most dangerous place to live in the country. I don't believe it, but they're going off statistics and they're saying it's like there's more crime than there is like in the metropolitan police area. And I was thinking, yes, but we know what the metropolitan police are doing, don't we? So they're not being as effective, are they? And they're not catching
So
these
they're
people.
saying that your
They
area
don't have the statistics.
is more
They're saying
dangerous
that round
than
here is,
London
yeah, it's
and Manchester and Liverpool.
Birmingham,
Okay.
places like that. Yeah,
you're
it's
right.
worse up here.
There's no way, is there? There's
It's
no way.
absolutely
ridiculous.
rubbish. It's
It
rubbish.
depends.
Yeah.
It depends. Are they defining somebody saying something mean as being dangerous? Because
Yeah.
that seems to be the crimes that they're interested in
Hate
now in
crime.
the country.
Greater
was-
Manchester didn't solve any burglaries. Well, I can't remember what year it was, but in an entire year, no burglaries were solved. So that means that probably no burglaries happened because they didn't solve
Yeah,
them. So
it's
maybe,
statistics, isn't it? So
Right.
you can't
it's
believe
how
them.
It's how they play with them, isn't
Yeah.
it? And, yeah.
Mm.
Well, I can't remember where it was, but some DA
I'm not saying
somewhere
it doesn't happen up here,
Um,
but
has been in office since 2021 and has no convictions. Like, how could you have no convictions whatsoever of any case that you've brought because they don't want to convict anybody?
Well, there's a
Because,
thing now,
you know-
isn't there, everywhere where unless it's, I think, is it in a shop? If it's not above £500, they don't even bother phoning the
don't
police.
do anything.
So you
That's
may
how
as
it is
well
here.
steal all your shopping.
Here it's
You know.
$900.
Yeah,
may
no,
as
they,
well.
it
I won't
depends on
get
the
away
state.
with it.
Some places it's $750 for a
California, I
felony.
think it's $900. So they don't even bother.
It's,
Up here they do. They stick their faces on Facebook. They stick the photographs on Facebook.
Yeah.
There was
They
one.
did
Actually,
that
there
here
was one on
somewhere, and
today.
somebody sued. Somebody sued because they said they couldn't, that they were publicly accusing somebody without proof, and that was impugning their reputation. But then again, we also get the stupid
That's
people
what I say.
who, when the police will post on their Facebooks, if you didn't get the right drugs or something, you can call us and we'll make it right. And these stupid people will call.
I've seen that before. I've seen like in police beats and newspapers. This is years ago, like in the 80s and 90s. Police beat, such and such date. Caller called the police to report that somebody had stolen his weed. Like,
Yeah,
you
I've
deserve
seen
to
those.
go to jail. You deserve to go to jail if you're that.
Did you hear the
stupid.
case about the snowman in the UK a few years ago? Where we some people put, when you make a snowman, you put a carrot in for the nose and all that, and some people put pound coins in the eyes or a penny in the eyes, and this woman had put £2 coins in the eyes, and somebody had stolen them, and she rang the police. She rang 999, which is like an emergency number. And they had to say to her, look, it's not an emergency. And she's like, but someone's stolen my pound coins. It's like, it's
Well,
probably
then
her
why
own
did you-
kid.
Probably leaving them outside for anybody to steal them. I mean, but yeah, they do several where the police departments will post about, oh, come in if your drug dealer cheats you, or, and they'll get idiots who will come in.
Wow. Oh, we have these things, knife amnesty things, which make me laugh.
Yeah.
They have these boxes where you're supposed to put knives, and people put bloody butter knives in there, and 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 like they're so proud of themselves, the police, because they're saying, "Oh, we've got all these knives handed in." And like when you look at them, you think, "Well, they're not going to do anything to anybody." Those knives, it's like, why would somebody who's going to use a knife for bad purposes give it up?
Yeah, go and buy
You know,
another
Well,
one anyway.
right.
Yeah,
They
it's just
have
gonna be
gun
old
buybacks here,
people giving them
Yeah.
in, isn't it? You know,
and
There's a good
somebody
sculpture though.
there's a sculpture.
Made
Is
a-
there?
Yeah, there's a big
somebody
sculpture
made
of
a
a
fortune on it.
figure.
Oh, is it a bit like the Game of
Um,
Thrones throne?
It's made out of knives. I went
Mm.
to see it in Middlesbrough, and when we got there, there was like the cones where it was coned off, and they'd just moved it.
Somebody
I
stole
didn't
them
see it.
a knife.
It had gone. No, it had moved on to the next place. I missed it.
Oh,
They have
Never
gun
mind.
buybacks here, and some guy had made like a ton of them, the 3D printed ones. That didn't
Oh.
work because they didn't have all the parts,
No.
but they
Right.
only had to be a gun. So he followed the rule of the gun buyback, and these were considered enough parts to be a gun, and brought in like 50 of them. So they had to give him
Wow.
like, I forget how many gift cards, $200
So he
gift cards.
did he make a profit? Got them
He
printed,
did, and then
which
they
he made-
changed the rules because
Oh, that's
it
brilliant.
was, yeah. I mean, we joke in our country about countries who gave away their right to bear arms.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and then when something happens, you wish you had them.
because you don't get them back. Yeah.
Yep.
You don't give up
Yeah,
any
'cause-
rights because you don't get them back.
Never.
In this country, they did it very slowly. It kind of happened over centuries, actually.
Yeah.
But it was kind of the biggest would have been after the Second World War, I think.
Mm. I've got
Yeah.
plenty of knitting needles.
True.
Yeah, you don't need a knife. You've got your own weapons right there.
And you can use those Chowgood cables to choke people to death as well, can't you?
Yeah.
Like you're in The Godfather. Yeah.
And those latch hooks that we all had to make those icord makers, they can do a
jeez.
lot of damage.
Gotta do
You
what you
can
gotta
3D
do.
print a spinner, can't you? An e-spinner.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you?
Some-
I saw somebody spinning on one, yeah, when I
oh
was
yeah,
at
they're very popular.
Massam Sheep Show.
Teresa,
I
you
have
have
a
one,
Sheep
don't you?
Fair.
Yeah, it's over there.
I almost bought one, but I didn't know what I was going to buy, what I was going to make with it, because Aldi sell them. You know that, don't you, Annie? Aldi sell
What?
3D printers
No
Oh,
printers.
printers.
only when they're on sale, because you know they do the.
Yeah, oh no, I didn't know, no.
And I think they're
Yeah.
about £300 or £500. But I couldn't think what I would make. I would just make stupid things and waste the
I don't.
plastic stuff, whatever.
They're expensive to use is the thing until it becomes less expensive.
Yeah.
I know the 3D printed sock machines are popular, but they're several $100s.
And
so
do
are
they
the
work?
e-spinners.
Do they work?
Mhm. I think so.
Think.
I mean, I know Liz has one. I know she was having trouble with it.
I think it has a big learning curve.
Yeah, I think it does.
This is. I don't know that this is 3D printed. I think he actually has these parts manufactured. This is one of the electric eel wheel.
Oh right, yeah, yeah.
This is.
I think Joe wants one of those.
It's so
No.
tiny. It's cute.
Oh, I have one that's. Hold on. Oh,
Make blocked blocks. Will I make money from that? Are you going to buy some?
that's the Nano, the one I just showed you. Nano, the first Nano, I think. I think they're on the 2, whatever. Look at this one.
What?
It's. Let me try to get
So
out of the way.
tiny.
Oh.
Oh
It's little.
Does it not fall off the table?
No, I put it on like one of those silicone mats.
Ah, right, yeah.
And then I have the 5.1, same company, and that's the one I mostly use because I can
So,
get
does that one,
5 ounces on a.
when you turn it on, is it just on? Like, if you have an old-fashioned one, you would be using your foot pedal, wouldn't you? So you'd be controlling it.
Yeah,
Do you-
there's a switch. Now my big one, I don't know if this one has, I haven't used this one forever. Oh, this one has a plug. And my big one has a foot pedal. So you can
Ah.
turn it on and off
Ah.
with the foot pedal.
So like a sewing machine would, you just
Yes.
have a cord.
It's actually
Right.
a sewing machine pedal.
Ah.
Yeah, I love the big one.
And how much do you spin? How often do you do that?
Oh, how much do I spin when I'm not crocheting and knitting and cross stitching and yeah.
So never, basically. Yeah, because you
No,
spin as well, Annie, don't you?
Not really very regularly. My wheel's out, but yeah, getting sat at it and doing it's a different
Mhm.
thing.
I go through phases, you know.
I just daren't even start looking at it because I know I'd get
I'm
obsessed
not
with
either.
it. I'd end up
I
with a
don't
room
need-
full of yarn that I'm never going to spin. You
This
know,
is it. It's like a backward step, isn't it? When you've got a house full of yarn that's ready to knit.
Yeah,
It's a backward step.
and then you want to learn
But it
how to
is
shear
nice.
sheep.
It's very calming. It's very relaxing.
Yeah.
It's it's fun. I like
Therapeutic,
it.
isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, nice to do.
I do like
Do
it.
you not get like shoulder, or do you not get some kind of pain from
Mm-mm.
how you sit it, or do you have to sit in a certain way? Or
No, I mean
Not
I
had a
just like to
problem,
put it
no.
up on the table. I mean I have wheels too. We don't even talk about how many wheels I have. But yeah, this is sitting right at just below eye level, so it's I mean, of course, like anything, you want to get up and stretch and move, and
but you can sit and do that and watch TV.
Mhm. Well, I have
Or
battery
podcast or
packs
whatever.
too, so I can go outside. I can go in the car. I can,
actually, you don't really need to look at what you're doing, really, do you? Once you know
not
the
really.
basics, I suppose.
not as much as you do knitting.
No, don't talk me. No, don't talk about it anymore. 'Cause
I know.
I'm-
I agree, Neil. I
Just
can't.
wave it at you.
I
Not
can't-
So do
listening,
you
not
ply
listening.
it?
No.
Therese, do you
What's that?
ply a yarn when you spin it on the little ones?
No, I first of all I hate plying. Yeah, no, I don't ply on these. I ply on the bigger one because it'll
But you
hold.
spin on them and then ply it.
Yeah, I haven't been spinning on these just because they're so small. I mean, you can only get, an ounce or two, maybe. I think an ounce
Yeah.
on that little one, whereas my other one will hold like 5 ounces.
Mm.
So it's
It's
easier.
probably
to
great if
fly.
you're on vacation, though. You want to take it
Oh,
with you
yeah,
on
for sure.
vacation.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And then do you
Well,
actually
they're
knit
just-
with it, or do you just stash it?
But
Maybe.
mine's quite
Sitting right here.
portable.
Wow, that's yours. Wow.
Just sitting there. Yeah, this is the one I showed.
I've got some
you might
handspun
not have
that I
been.
was given by
Yeah.
Phaedra. You know, Phaedra came over to Manchester and she brought some for me. I don't know what to knit with it. And I don't know whether to leave. It's very dark brown because it's a natural colour, but I don't know whether to dye it black. But there's I think there's 3 big skeins, but I don't actually know how much there is, if you know what I mean. So I don't know what I can knit. But I'd like to, with it being hand spun, because it's kind of special.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, do your wraps per inch
Wraps per inch. Yeah, and weigh it.
and then weigh it.
Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bring it with me next time I see you, Annie, and you can just do that for me.
I've got some.
I'll
I've
count
got some
it,
little drug scales and I've got some bigger scales.
Oh.
I think Joe wants one of those little e-spinners. She's talked about it.
Are they about 700 quid, 800? Oh, I don't know what they are in dollars. Are
Yeah,
they
I
getting
think
on
they're
for
about, yeah.
$1,000?
No.
The
That
one I
is
get, the
600,
one
I
I like, the one I'm trying to get Joe to buy, the electric eel wheel. He usually crowdfunds his, and they sell out like boom. He hits his target like within an hour, if not sooner. And that big one I paid maybe $3.50, maybe $3. These other
What's
little
that? Is
ones
that about
were
£280? Is it something like it would be, wouldn't it? Or
Yeah.
it's, I mean,
like
it's
that.
way cheaper than a wheel. It's cheaper than the Ashford e-spinners and those, the
and it's
bigger
portable,
company.
Yeah.
isn't it? You can put it in a cupboard and
Very
forget about
portable.
it. It would
Mhm.
fit in one of these drawers so that in 10
Yes.
years I could open it and
You
find it.
can
And
find it and
"Oh,
go,
these
hey,
spin
there's my wheel.
Neil, are you sure you don't have one in there already?
off."
Maybe.
Oh, I dread to think.
You got to fluff your stash.
Oh, time for a new colour.
Deja, ooh.
Oh,
Yay,
that's it.
new
That's
colour.
the exciting bit. A
What
Chrome
color
Yay.
are we going?
Fantasia wheel. Wow.
Well, it's just not this colour. It's just
What
not the
colour's
dark
next?
one.
Oh, is that
I
one?
think I
you've
might
just
use
been
some
working-
more of this. And then
I
this.
love your
Uh.
crazy mohair cat shawl.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
the
pretty.
colours
Is
you've
it-
used are really good.
The question
Really?
is the cat's going to take it over when you're finished?
It all fits in this little bag.
Wow.
Shawl as well.
Wow.
Got some nice bright pink.
Ooh, I like that.
So BS wants to know what's the thoughts on drop spinners. I don't
Yeah,
know.
the cat
Oh,
sits on
drop
my knee and gets I've got a drop spinner and I've never used it for very long. I was going to lend it to a friend and then I thought I don't know where it is, and then it's in here somewhere. So there it is.
I've never tried it. I've
I have
never
a
tried any
basket of
spinning,
'em.
and I'm intentionally not because I don't want to go down another rabbit hole. So
Mhm.
that
Well,
and
I
weaving,
did
I want
order
to try
one.
weaving, and I'm not doing
I
that
haven't
either.
there you
touched
go.
it
because
for
I don't wanna-
years.
Oh, I have that one. Yeah. Yeah.
I ordered one, a
It's
kit,
like,
and it, for some
Mhm.
reason
Nice.
it didn't go through. So I kind of felt like that was the world, the universe telling me not to buy it. So I've never,
Don't do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
don't
it's
do
one
it.
way to-
Yeah.
I have a bunch of spindles, but I also have rotator cuff issues, and so that whole motion too much.
Yeah, I can
The
see
ones
that
I
would be a
find
trouble.
fascinating are the ones that like there's a bowl and then like a stick with a point, and they kind of do it
Yeah.
in a bowl
The,
or in a. Do you know what I
it's
mean?
a-
Don't you? I can't think what it's called.
Yeah,
The
so it's
one that's
like a
got
bit
Yeah.
like that, but yeah.
Somebody else say it's supported spindle.
Ah,
Yeah, isn't
Oh,
Shauna
it's
Stitches
supported.
starting that
Oh, is she?
I think in her
Oh,
life-
I'm behind.
episode? She was talking about using a support sport.
Mhm.
There's just too many
Spindle.
things. Too many things in the
Mhm.
world to
There
do.
is.
There is.
Can't we
And
just
then
go back
there's
to
not
the
enough
old
time
days
for
where
knitting.
there was no internet and never be able to find out about these things?
Wouldn't know anything.
Yeah.
Ignorance
Yes,
is bliss.
but we also wouldn't have the internet to find out how to do different stitch patterns and how to knit different things, and all those tutorials that you can't get in books anymore.
True. Although I'm going back to books, I'm finding that it's more useful to have the book these days.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways it is because
Mhm.
it's been around a lot of these things a long time, and to go back to the originality of it and why that technique is chosen. Like a lot of times it seems now people do tutorials and things or techniques, but they don't know why that technique is used in
Mhm.
certain ways in certain
Yeah.
places. And in the books, a lot of them will give you the actual use this in this way because of this. And I think that's beneficial to learn.
Annie showed her Elizabeth Zimmerman book
Yeah, she did.
with the ice cream hat, the Dairy Queen hat. Yeah, it's so cute.
I
Well,
don't
I'm quite-
have any of her
Yeah.
books. I need to
I'm
get
quite proud. I've
Elizabeth
got the whole
Zimmerman.
library of her books. I'm so
Yeah.
pleased. I've bought them over the years, bit by bit.
They're just
some of them
fascinating
are
to read. Yeah.
amazing.
Well, yeah, I know.
oops.
I just haven't.
That Around the
Done that
World
yet.
one, that's probably the one to read if you want to read the stories, because there's a lot of prose in there. But there's a garment she made for her husband in there that is the most hideous thing you have ever seen in your life. But it's like, I was fascinated by it though because of the way it was constructed. But it's like, why? Why am I even looking at this? Because I'm never going to knit it because it's so ugly.
But you can learn something from I like
Yeah.
knitting other patterns to learn different construction techniques for different things because I can't just read a pattern and see how it worked necessarily. My brain doesn't work that way.
Got to try it.
So
Yeah.
so if I knit someone else's design and say, oh, so that's how you do that kind of yoke, or and then I can incorporate
Mhm.
it, not their stitch, not their color work, obviously, but
Yeah.
how to construct different things because the construction is just the construction. Nobody owns that.
Mm.
It's like saying nobody's allowed to do raglan anymore because the first person did raglan owns it. or Guernsey or Gansey.
Have they not cancelled Lord Raglan yet? Wasn't he problematic for something or other?
Probably Kitchener was canceled.
Like Kitchener.
Or maybe Raglan, they kept him on because he was disabled, wasn't he? He was missing an
Yeah,
arm,
that's right.
wasn't he?
Yeah. Gee, and Kitchener just wanted his men to have comfortable socks.
Bastard.
You know, regardless of whatever else, you know, he was looking out for his men. He had other issues clearly, but you know,
Don't
you gotta-
we all?
I'll defend Kitchener. I will defend him because I
You
did
gotta
quite a
put-
lot of research into him. And they say that he was the person that invented concentration camps, but he didn't. It was his boss that invented them. And he
Well-
just did as he was told because he had to. But he didn't get rid of them, to be fair, when he was in charge, but he didn't invent them. And I just think we can't judge people from
Well-
years ago by our standards today
Well,
because
no.
they did
yeah,
what they had
well,
to
not
do.
only that, if a person isn't all good by today's standards, you can't point out any good thing they did.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people, you know, might have been not what's considered appropriate now, but was living in their time, but you can't point out any like good points of view or anything good they did because they're problematic.
Yeah.
And
Which
it's
you would
like,
think in a
no.
non-binary world that you would, because like it's very binary, isn't it, to be good or evil and nothing in between.
Yeah, I like the whole non-binary thing just proves that there's a binary.
Right.
So I don't understand that one. Dress what you like, you know, if you want to dress like a tomboy or dress like a boy or dress like whatever, you know.
Yeah, because you're right, aren't you? Because if it's something's non-binary, then
Then there must be
there
binary.
has to be a binary.
I mean, doesn't it make sense though? I
Yeah,
just don't.
yeah, because you'd call
you know,
it something completely different, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I can't imagine
Would have-
Freddie Mercury labeling himself as non-binary. I think he'd just say I'm Freddie. And
Right.
Well, then, yeah, but I bet if they were young now and doing the same thing, they probably would.
I don't know.
You know.
I don't know.
No.
I think people used to be way more accepting of their own differences. People don't accept it. Like now the whole thing is be your true self, but people aren't accepting their true selves. They're accepting one narrative that they want to be or they think, but they're not accepting their whole selves. And it used to be back then, you know, people could accept the fact, hey, you know, David Bowie and Mick Jagger can make a music video where they're flirting like crazy and nobody cared.
So
you know?
awful.
But nowadays there would have to be some kind of labels put on and someone would have to identify a certain way and it wasn't about the whole
Oh,
person.
The thing that really pissed me
Reese
off.
knows which
recently
video I'm
was-
talking about.
It's
Yeah, I know
the
which
worst
one it is.
awful video ever, but
It's so
you know,
bad.
Dancing in the
It's so bad.
streets.
Yeah.
so bad. Yeah.
Pocket.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. It's good. That's what's
Yeah.
so good.
Have you seen
Have
the
you heard
silent,
that-
the one without music?
Oh,
Yes.
it's hilarious. Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really funny.
But you know what? But they accepted who their selves were. It just seems like now people can't accept their whole person. They have to be one, you know, unique identity.
Well, because
And it has
it's
to be a certain identity on a certain scale so that they can get certain bonus points for their problems, as opposed to saying, hey, I'm a person and sometimes I do this, sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'm depressed, sometimes I'm anxious.
Have you watched the Kelly J. Keane stuff, the Posey Parker stuff recently? Her Instagram
Not
reels?
recently.
not
Oh, it's been brilliant, hasn't it?
They've
Oh,
been
she
really
is brilliant.
good.
I haven't watched
So-
her in the last few weeks.
She's been showing like a clip of somebody talking, and then not only does she mimic their voice, and she's really good at it, but then she
Jackie.
kind of gets right to the point, you know, because like there was one, wasn't there, where the kid was a bit effeminate, and the mother is already putting this kid on a pathway to being trans because she doesn't want a gay child.
Yeah.
It's like
so
what?
trans is better.
Yeah,
It is, evidently. I don't get it because I think the worst thing the gay community did was let themselves be aligned with the trans
Mm-hmm.
because they're two
Mhm.
totally different things. And it seems like so many gay youth are being damaged
Mm-hmm.
by it.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I don't know. It's
sorry
bad.
for yawning.
It's sad so many, and the thing that kills me is they're telling, lesbians they have to date trans men who think they're women.
Yeah, the
And it's
other
like-
lesbians.
Yes, but yeah, I don't understand the whole dynamics of it, but I just think a lot of people are being damaged and not allowed to be who they are.
There was a lady in America recently, wasn't there, who was in the gym and
Yes.
she walked in and there was a man shaving
Yes, I
and there was
saw
a
that.
12 or 13-year-old girl, she said, in the corner, sort of covered up, and she
Planet
complained about it.
Fitness.
And
Mhm.
she has been
Got banned.
barred.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And, it's
And
like,
did you see the
what?
guy? He wasn't even trying. Wasn't even. He looked like a regular guy you see on the street. Oh, but
My
I
thing
say
about it
I'm.
is if a man wants to be in those changing rooms, he's making a big deal about wanting to be in there, then that is the person you need to keep out of there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because why do you want to go in there? Why do you
Yeah.
want to go in there and shave? Why
Because you
didn't you
can't.
do that before you went to the gym?
Just to be that guy.
It's access.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
access. And it's hurting women. Women don't have any female spaces anymore.
No, we're being
And I
erased.
think-
It's like domestic violence shelters where they're putting, trans women in, making biological women even more frightened because they're having to room with men who think they're women and they're already, in a domestic violence situation. And like I read that these parents were horrified because they found out their daughter had gone on a school field trip and was supposed to sleep in the same bed with a trans person.
Yeah, I read about
No,
one of
no,
those.
it wasn't announced ahead of time or anything. And the mom happened to be chaperoning, and the child, called the mom and said, I don't know. Got moved to a different room, but became a whole stink against the mom and the child. And it's like, and my daughter's
Nope.
school, when she was in high school, that was the policy. If she'd gone on any overnight trips, that would have been the policy, but she didn't. But to
No
do that
adult
would-
should be sleeping with the child that's not their own kid. Period.
Well, not only that, but it was a biological girl who was supposed to sleep with a trans girl.
I don't care who it is. Nobody should be
I know.
sleeping with,
Well, because they share beds and the parents were mad because they weren't notified ahead of time, because if they had been, it would have been an issue. So they were just going to gloss it over and not tell anybody. And I feel for trans people. I feel that they're suffering, and
Well,
but
I feel
also
for what I would call true trans people.
well, yes, not
Mhm.
But I
the
think a
trans-
lot of
as-
these people
Blair
aren't
White-
true.
Yeah, as Blair White calls it. Well, I saw a
Yeah.
thing the other day where this person went in, claimed to be trans, to one of these therapies, and within 15 minutes of the initial consultation,
Mhm.
was already put on puberty blockers and they were scheduling for surgery.
Mhm.
15 minutes.
Did you watch Kerry's recent show
Mhm.
about it? That was heartbreaking,
Yeah.
with the person
Yeah.
that had killed themselves. And the thing I learned from that is, for boys, if they go on puberty blockers, that is it for life. They can
Yep.
never,
Mhm.
I don't think it does for girls, but definitely for boys, that's it. No sex for
Mhm.
them ever again. Well, ever.
Well, they
They
said
should-
that
you know what I mean?
boys who have bottom surgery the suicide rate goes up 40 to 60% after the surgery because it's painful. And, I blame
And
the
it
medical-
doesn't change what's going on up here.
No. And a lot of times what's going on up here is that the issue is other underlying conditions that are just
Right.
glossed over. And I think the more that these kids who've gone through this are suing now, is what's finally going to make a difference. Because these medical people have jumped on this bandwagon to make money,
Yeah.
and
Hasn't,
there is no more. There's no more do no harm.
Wasn't there a law recently passed in the UK? I don't know whether you know
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah, in the UK they're not allowed to do
Yeah.
Yeah.
that with
the-
children.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
if you're
they're
an
not
adult, if
doing the
you're an
puberty
adult,
blockers, are they?
you do whatever you want. If you're an adult, it's your body. If you want to get any kind of surgery, you can. That's entirely up to you. But children who have not developed, whose brain, I mean, these kids can't get their ears pierced without permission, yet can go and have an abortion and get trans
Or
surgery
get a tattoo. Yeah.
or get a
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
And children
Roll
can't
on up
make
for
those
an
kind of
abortion.
decisions.
Yeah.
And sometimes the best thing you can do for a child is to tell them no,
No.
because they want things that aren't good for them. And they shouldn't be making these kind of decisions. If you're an adult and you make a decision, that's entirely your choice. You have to live by your choices. But children aren't capable of making.
Oh, did
Those
I
kind of
hear
decisions.
right that your government has been making noises about bringing back conscription as well, same as the British people have? Something's
because
going
they're-
down, isn't it? Something's going to be happening. The fact that
Well, it's because they've lost so many. Nobody's joining the military anymore. It's gone all woke. Nobody wants to join, and so many have retired because of it.
Well, and they got rid of a bunch for the jab,
Yeah,
you know.
the ones they've got
That
left are
too.
all trans, aren't they?
Right.
a lot of them
Right.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But do you know
Including
why
the
that
dead
is?
people.
Because
Why?
in America, they have to pay for their own sex changes unless you're in the military, and the military pays for your
or
sex
in prison.
change.
In prison, they
Yeah.
pay
Prison.
for it too.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though: if someone's trans, they can't be deployed, can they? Because they're on medication. What if they're out in the field and they can't get their medication?
Well, that you'd
So
think
can they
so,
be
wouldn't
deployed?
you? But I think there's a time limit, isn't there, that they put on it. So once they've been through this particular time period, then they're allowed to be deployed. So I don't know what that is. I'm sure that's what I
don't
read
know.
somewhere about it.
I think there are a lot of people who have issues, but I think the majority of people who are trans are not suffering from dysphoria. I think a lot of it is teenage girls who hate their bodies and want to fit in, teenagers who like forcing people to treat them certain ways because face it, everyone hates their body during puberty. Nobody likes what they're going through.
Yeah.
I don't
If
think
you
that
can
ever
be
changes, does it?
No, it never
It
does.
never
But
gets
if
any
you can
better.
be somebody else, if a girl doesn't have to be a girl where, boys looking at you and this and that and everything else and just say, just become a totally different person, I can see the appeal of it. But I don't think that means that they're all trans.
No, they're definitely not. Most of them are not.
Most of them, 90-some% who
Yes, just
transition
said.
as children transition
Now we're
back.
going to have a bunch of man bun wearing wokies defending us. Well, if
Yeah.
you look,
Except they're probably anti-gun too, so I don't know what's going to happen.
yeah, they'll all be pacifists, won't they? Vegetarian pacifists.
Well,
Good luck.
more meat for me. When the military's eating bugs, Teresa and I will still be eating meat.
I'm not eating bugs.
Well, we already are. You
Well,
need to
yeah.
find out what the
Mhm.
ingredients are, where they've got ground bugs in them.
Oh, I check
'Cause
ingredients.
And
I
they've
found
changed-
out one the
Bye-bye.
other day that was like, holy shit, I've eaten that.
They've changed the names of some of the bugs.
Yeah,
So it
it's not
doesn't say
obvious,
like
is it?
cricket.
Right.
It says
Yeah.
whatever Latin or whatever.
Com-
And they put
compound
that.
3
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's
Yeah.
scary. Yeah, and we used to only have to
Soylent,
worry
yeah.
about have to worry about red dye number 3 or whatever in M&Ms.
Yeah.
Remember that was what we had to
Yeah.
worry about.
We
eating.
banned that.
We
You can't
didn't.
get
I
that.
think they
Sure.
banned it. I think one
No,
of them
you
was
still
banned,
get
yeah.
it. You can still
No,
have
we
it.
still
and you-
have.
Yeah, and you're still eating it.
I saw a
Well,
thing
good for
today
us.
that showed the difference between American like cereals and different Doritos and things and the British. And our list is this long and your list is this long.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Don't eat packaged foods.
That's our freedom here, We get freedom to eat packaged foods. I guess.
Freedom to poison ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
But we don't need beans on toast, so there's that.
No, we don't.
But you're missing
Or
out.
out of a can.
And that's what's wrong with you all.
Sure.
Oh, eat it out of a can. I'm with you on that. Cold beans out of a can.
Oh, no.
Absolutely not.
Hey, Joe doesn't
you
have
can't
a
beat
stove
beans on
on her
toast with
mobile
butter.
office.
She
Okay?
needs a mobile microwave.
She needs one of those things that my husband used to have when he was a truck driver. It was a thing where you put your food in and it would heat it. Like
David has
little
one.
lunchbox
Mhm.
things. Yeah,
He has
you
one.
put that in her car and heat up her food. No,
Yeah,
we don't
bits and
want
caboodles,
Soylent Green
Soylent
vibes.
Green.
No
Nipsey
silent
Caboodle. No,
Soylent
no.
Green. We know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember my son first time he watched that movie, he was like shocked.
Hmm.
Like Soylent Green is
Beans on
people.
toast.
See, look,
So, but
Thrifty
they-
Chickadee. She loves beans on toast.
Good for her. She can eat them.
I used to make when my kids were little and we were broke. I used to make like almost like bean soup, and we would serve it on buttered bread. So it's
Yeah.
pretty much it's kind of the same thing.
Mm.
Just navy bean, white navy bean. I don't know what you guys call those. Navy beans,
Yeah.
Great
Yeah, the white
Northern
ones, right?
beans, white beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
Like a
haricot?
ham and
Haricot
bean
beans.
soup. But we would put it
Yeah.
on no ham because we were broke on buttered bread, and it was good.
No, you
We have
threw the
butter
ham.
beans, don't we?
You threw
Big-
the
big
ham
white
hock
ones.
in from the
I
one
love
time you had a
butter
ham at Easter,
Right.
and you
From
froze
Easter,
the ham
yeah.
hock and used it for soup. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like butter beans and lima beans. My grandmother used to
don't?
grow those, and I did not like them.
I used to
They're
hate
not
them as
my
a kid, but now I absolutely love them. I
Yeah.
always have a tin in because it's like emergency
Mm.
food.
The little
can have
green
my
ones.
share.
Oh, I like the little
Yeah.
green ones. Yeah.
But
Oh,
Thank
no, I
you
don't know
guys for
those.
coming
I don't
on.
know what the green ones are.
Lima beans. They're the baby lima,
lima
beans.
beans, yeah. They're not my thing. My grandmother used to make them all the time, and I did not like them. But
Yeah.
when you're a kid, you have to eat what you're given.
Yeah.
Those and peas. I don't
I'm
like.
still
string
having
peas.
some issues.
So I would swallow them whole. So I wouldn't like a whole
I hate
mouthful. I would
peas.
just swallow it,
I hate
So-
peas.
so I wouldn't have to taste them. You get a big glass of sweet tea, and you swallow the peas whole, and you wouldn't have to taste them.
I do that now, so shh.
Do you mean you don't do what that author guy, what was he called? Catcher in the Rye. What was his name?
Ugh,
Oh, Holden
Salinger. Was it
Caulfield,
Salinger?
I hate
He-
that book.
J.D. Salinger. I hate that. book.
Wasn't it him that used to have
Sounds bad.
frozen
It's a book.
peas with honey on the top every morning for his breakfast?
Could be. He was a little weird.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
I tried it
Yeah.
once because I read about it, and it was actually quite nice.
Well, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
was
Spring
thinking it sounds quite
spring
nice.
peas. If you got fresh spring peas, those are kind of sweet. So I could
Yeah.
maybe see.
I will eat those. Like if they're
I'll
raw,
eat the fresh ones.
Yeah.
I disliked Catcher in the Rye. Holden Caulfield is the most
It is the
annoying
worst book ever.
character ever.
Yes.
Him and that other character, and Ann knows who I'm talking, or Therese knows who I'm talking about.
The character.
That
I
other
think I
book
did it
character
at
I don't like.
school. We covered it
I
at
can't
school, and I
remember it,
didn't
yeah.
take much notice of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
I
just
did
a
not like-
whiny, just
Yeah.
We
whiny.
need care of homeless
angst-ridden-
people or
It's like-
something.
You have no
Was
like
it,
affinity
was it
for
phony?
him.
Was everything phony or phooey or bogus or something? We had a word in it.
Yeah, I forget the
What was
word,
it?
but he would
No.
whine. He whined about how hard his
Well, he
life
did.
was, and
He whined through the
Well,
whole
Anyone
book.
over 30 was bad or something. I can't remember it now.
Yeah. It's awful.
Not as good as To Kill a Mockingbird. That one.
Oh
stuck
God,
with me.
nothing is as good as To Kill a Mockingbird.
that's a good book.
Except the
Sequel.
sequel is worse than
Bad.
the sequel is worse than
Yeah, but
I'm
she never
refusing.
intended
I'll
to
never
publish
read
it.
Challengers.
I won't read it.
I have it, but I will never read it because she
I
never
read it
intended
for
to
both of
publish it.
you, and I don't recommend it. It's awful.
Kind of like Gary from Nerdrotic watching Rings of Power, so I don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
won't
just watch his
that either.
reviews.
Gary,
No,
who
I
got
can't.
his
Bear it.
1 millionth subscriber.
He did. He did. He beat Dan Bask.
Poor Dan Vask. Oh.
You know, if Dan had put out
I
more
don't
videos,
watch,
he probably
so
would
I'm
have
not
hit
one
his
of
1
his
million.
subscribers, so I don't know who he is.
Peanut butter applesauce sandwiches. Huh.
I can see that.
I can see that too.
Yeah, because
might not be
there's
bad.
nothing weird about either one of those.
No, no. I get
Yeah, I can see
surprise
that.
dinner tomorrow night because we're going to my son's new home and he's making
Ooh.
dinner. So I think he'll probably end up making burgers, but he's been cooking. I've gotten lots of phone calls and how do I do this? How do I do that?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's one thing
Yeah.
to watch me do it at home. It's another to actually
Mhm.
sit down and
That's what
Do
I
it.
did when I first left home. It was
Mhm.
like, Mom,
Yeah.
how'd you do a baked potato?
just we're like, Mom, what exactly is in your spaghetti sauce? And
Mhm.
but
My kids
He's
still
pretty
do
good.
that, and they've been on their own for years. You know, I'll get a message. Tell me again what's in Alfredo. You know, so I give her the, or tell
Yeah.
what is this? What's in the
well,
potato?
he got a
salad?
grill
Yeah.
because he wanted a grill. So he got that this weekend. So he'll probably do burgers.
Nice.
But he's like, what marinade do you use on your lemon broil, Mom? And what do you do this? And so, but it'll be nice to have him cook for me. His one
Mm.
roommate cooks. She cooks. She's Mexican descent, so she cooks Mexican all the time. It's
Ooh.
really good. His other roommate can make eggs. So
Go
they're
there for
trying to get
breakfast
me
and
off-
you'll be fine.
or he'll do stuff in the air fryer. He can like put like a piece of salmon in the air fryer, and that's about it.
Hey,
So they're hoping to get him to cook more. But I was like, well, it's cheaper than eating out. And when you lived home, you could eat out more
Sometimes, yeah.
because you were living at home. But now you're responsible for your own
Mhm.
food, and it's expensive. And so, but we'll see.
although nowadays I think the grocery store is just as much as the restaurants.
Yeah, it is. It's so bad. It's like I go to the
It's
store.
so
and,
bad.
like I'd rather just go get takeout because it's cheaper than going to the grocery
Yeah.
store.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
It's
awful.
crazy.
How much would 1 kilogram of potatoes cost you in America?
1 kilogram.
We buy them in the 5-pound bag,
Yeah, bags.
So
yeah,
5
I pay
kilograms.
like
whatever.
3 something, 4 something
Yeah.
for a 5-pound bag of yellow Yukon Gold.
Oh, Yukon Golds, yeah, they're a little bit more. So they'd be like
yeah,
maybe
Well, what's
$4.99.
How much is
Yeah.
that in terms of grams and kilograms? So what's a pound?
5 pounds. So uh,
100 grams is 3.5 ounces. I know that.
okay.
I can't work out whether
Um,
it's cheaper or dear. I think it's more expensive.
Isn't it
Just Google it,
2.2
can't you?
kilograms per pound? I think.
I do.
Because we'd pay what, about £1.99 at the most, wouldn't we, for a kilogram of potatoes?
Oh,
Which
well,
would
so that's
be-
1 times
I don't
5.
know.
We are not on metric system. We are still holding out.
2.2 kilograms.
That's what I thought.
So it's about the same then, is it? It's about the same.
Yeah.
then,
Sounds about the same to me.
yeah.
Now the white potatoes like the russets, they're cheaper.
Yeah,
You know,
they are.
and
But I like
they'll
the
put them on
Yukons for
sale,
roasting.
and I
Yeah.
love Yukons. Yeah,
I roast them because they get all
When I-
creamy on the inside.
make them.
But
Tas's got
now that,
expensive.
now
I
that
get
my son has moved out, my grocery bill has gone down because
2.2
young men
Mm.
eat a lot.
kilos.
He was.
I
a
get
big
whoopsie.
eater.
Yeah.
do you get whoopsie food where they've knocked it down at the end of the day?
Sometimes.
I've just been tonight and got a load of blueberries and
Asda's the best
strawberries
for
and
that.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Well, I
have
went
that
to
too.
Tesco's,
It's
and a
not,
load of
they're
bread.
not perfect.
Stock the freezer up with bread.
Yeah, you can get a loaf for 25 pence, can't you? If you get, the bread is so
Yeah.
cheap.
Wow.
When it's on.
I got 3 loaves, and the woman on the till, the barcode thing wasn't working properly, and she couldn't be bothered, and she gave me one of them for nothing. So I can't be bothered.
That's
That's
good.
always
Like,
good.
thanks. Yeah.
She
Yeah,
stole
my-
it, really.
My son's first thing he made, I make a Chinese chicken salad with an Asian dressing.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
there's like a list of things in the dressing: rice wine vinegar, sesame
Mm-hmm.
oil, soy sauce. And he's like, Mom, this list is forever. I'm like, yes, but then now you'll have it.
then you have it.
So the next time you want to make this, you'll have all you have to buy is the vegetables and the meat. Or
Yeah.
if you want to make stir fry, you've got everything to make stir fry sauce now.
Yeah, the pantry
Oh, that
staples.
yeah. He never occurred to him, how important pantry staples were.
Yep.
Like I always have tomato sauce. I always have chicken broth. I always have
Mhm.
basics.
I have 2 bottles of rice wine vinegar right now, and I don't know why.
Because you open one and then you don't use it as much and you forget you have it and you buy another
I
one.
forgot I had it. It was in the back of the cabinet, and I was like, "Oh, I'm out." so-
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, BS knows she owns a restaurant, so she buys
Yep.
a lot of groceries. Yeah. My in-laws for Christmas, which we do in March, gave everyone a Costco gift card this year. So I need
Nice.
to go stock up at Costco. That'll be nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you guys for coming on. We really
Yes, thank
appreciate
you.
staying up late, both of you. And you're always welcome any week. Just
Oh yeah.
let me know. And other people can come on too. Just let me know. Joe should
Yeah.
be back.
Yeah.
Well,
It's earlier
don't
at the
know.
moment, isn't it?
yeah. I don't
I
think she'll
don't
be
know
here
if
next
she's
week.
coming back next week. I don't
I think
so.
it's the Royal Easter show is next week, I believe.
Yes.
So I think she's driving up for that. I don't know if Millie's judging or not, but
I think our
And then the
clocks
week-
change. Is it the 28th or 27th?
I
or
think
something?
it'll be at the end of the month. Yeah, I think so.
So, it might
So it's
take
just a few
advantage
weeks
of
where
that
it's-
time
Yeah.
difference.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tabitha should be on next week. Amy
That's
might
what
be
I
here.
think.
So we'll get some murder knits going. When are you and Tabitha doing another episode, Neil?
Next week, but I don't know
Oh,
when. exactly.
nice.
So
Oh, good.
we're going to do the issue 13. So we're going to go through it because obviously
Ah.
that's her issue. So she has
You
to
mean
do
Cover
the-
Girl?
Yeah.
Her issue.
I had this really cruel idea where I thought I'm not going to ask her to do that issue, and I was going to do it with somebody else, and then I thought, no, she's got to
No.
do it.
If you're doing the Mark Schallberg challenge, get your shawls done and post them with the hashtag.
Don't get distracted. Go ahead and do them.
Yeah.
Finish it
Yeah,
up.
don't
Has
get
anyone-
distracted.
And then do something else new.
Or
Has anyone
count down
done the
3 things
murder
like I
knits
did.
in? Sorry.
I did. Mine's a
Mhm.
murder knit.
Have you done one in DK? Double knitting?
Yes.
I have.
Yeah. I have. I did 2 skeins of DK, and it was pretty good size.
Mm.
Mostly I do fingering because I have a lot of those single skeins
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
you
Got
buy
a
'cause
really
they're
nice
pretty,
coloured
and then
one.
you don't know what to do with them.
Might have to do one
Also-
after this. It'll be
If
the
you're doing the
antidote.
squares, if you're doing the squares for Jackie's knit along and crochet along, get those going.
Yeah, you can have a
For her
couple.
thing.
Of,
Oh, what was that? Was it 2
12
squares a
days.
month or something?
13.
Is that what
Yep.
it was?
Yeah.
Was it 2?
Yeah.
I should have done that. Oh well.
you can still do it.
Oh, I'd have to try and
It's
catch
only
up, though,
March.
wouldn't I?
To make
You'd
a
have
blanket.
to do 6.
Oh, is that it? Oh, it only started this
2
year.
a month.
Oh,
Yeah, it started January.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
can do 6.
Yeah. When is the deadline for the next issue, Neil? If anybody wants to submit anything,
It's what we're in now. April the 15th is the deadline, and the next issue will be the end of April. So, and it's the Bare Arms issue. So it doesn't have to be related to Bare Arms, but if you've got an idea that relates in any way, shape, or form to Bare Arms, so Bare Arms or hairy Bare Arms, whatever.
or bears?
Yeah, exactly.
Bears
Any of
or
that.
arms
Or bear, BARE, any inclination to do with inclination.
Yeah.
That's not the right word, is it? Oh, we have a cat. Ollie's here.
Oh.
Aw.
He was
Hello.
here.
Hello, ugly cat.
He's one of the feral ones who doesn't like being picked up. So get your submissions in, please. We've had one. I had one today, actually, the first one, so I was quite pleased because there's always a
Nice.
point every issue where I have a bit of a panic when nothing has
Like,
come in.
nobody's gonna.
And then
Yeah.
and then
Well, I
all of a
had an
sudden it's like a snowball.
I had
you
an
know,
idea I gave to Anne, but I don't know if she's going to get a chance to work on it. So might have to save that for something later. Because she's the queen of color work in Target.
April
so-
15th. Well, that's still a month away, so
Yeah.
Still plenty of time.
almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what,
Still
we're
plenty
so
of time.
organised this year, and it's a bit unnerving because I'm always sort of living on the edge of it. You know what I mean? I'm always kind of like behind and panicking. Whereas this time round, everything seems to be calm, and so it's a bit like
He's
shit.
addicted to the.
Pre-planned.
He's addicted to the drama.
Stress.
Yeah.
And you're not lazy.
You're not
You're just
lazy.
You're just busy.
She got a
you
lot
just
going
finished
on.
Yes,
that
Anne,
gorgeous
get busy.
quilt.
If it's for the magazine, you've got to get it done. Come on, stop watching
Chop,
this
chop.
and get knitting.
Oh, she just got a whole bunch of yarn she's got plans for. Let the girl create.
Mm.
She just did that
She
lovely
showed me something
black
earlier,
quilt.
actually. I don't know whether she showed you, and it's really interesting. And I'm not going to say any more about it, but I saw it and it's like, wow, this is quite.
Cool.
There's so much hush hush going on right now.
Aw, she's just finished having that block quilt pattern in the last
Yes.
issue, right? Which is amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Love that.
and Anne's got a new blog, annepinkava.com. Is it?
I think
So
so.
Right.
check that out. And go watch all our
Sure.
friends. If you haven't watched
Friends.
Two Sisters and Some Yarn, had an
Watch them.
episode. a couple
Mhm.
weeks ago or a week ago that's up.
Yeah.
And Annie just posted
Yeah,
a new
it was last
episode that I
week.
watched.
Annie, yep, we have our
And
news from
Shauna
Annie.
has new episodes. And yeah, I love the news because it's just so relaxing.
I
and
did
just feel
too.
like I know them now, your friends from the knitting, because I'm
Yeah.
like, well,
They
well,
love
who's
it
doing
as
what this
well,
week?
yeah. They
Well, I
think
love
the
it because there
pressure's
used to
on.
be. What was that thing that I used?
Nancy
Was it
Petticoat.
Dear Kitty? There used to be a show in the 80s called Dear Kitty, and it was like just a 5-minute show. And I think it was on Victoria Wood, I think. I can't remember. And Annie's bit about the knit night reminds me of that every time.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Kitty,
Don't
yeah,
worry,
she's
Neil.
on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube. It's very funny. It's much funnier.
Oh, I like it, and I like when you pop the pictures in, and it's
Yeah.
it's so relaxing, and just you feel like you know those ladies, and I get excited to see what they're knitting, and
And I'm going to
Oh,
have to
yeah.
listen to you speed it up just to hear what you sound like a chipmunk.
you'll have to have Neil come and go be your special guest sometime, and he can.
Oh yeah,
he
well
can
you need to come
report.
back on mine again. I mean, we have had the English thing, haven't we? But I need to get Annie on to talk about knitting again, I think. And
Yeah.
your activism, your
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
We
Yeah,
haven't-
I
we
haven't
haven't
been
talked
doing
about
much
that
of that
much.
really. Just turning up at the gym in my woman t-shirt. That's about it.
Wow,
Do what you
that's a
gotta do.
crime. I'm surprised you've not been arrested.
Well,
how
my
are
gym's
people going to know?
okay at the
Woman.
minute.
It's because she hasn't called anyone else a woman. That's why.
Oh.
See,
So
Yeah, yeah.
self-identifying and all that nonsense.
It's just me.
She,
I did
yeah.
get complimented on it though,
That's good.
That's nice.
on my t-shirt by well, I went in the toilets at the gym and a young lass
And a
followed
guy
me
was-
in, and she had like pink hair and pink and blue hair or something. I was like, oh, I'm in trouble here. And she said, I like your t-shirt, and I was quite
Nice.
surprised though.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
See,
Yeah.
you can't
it's,
you can't tell all the time.
I don't know.
No,
I
you
think
can't.
I think a lot of things have calmed down. I mean, even craft.
I think
Narc is
it's-
pretty mellow
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't
it'll
found a
be
man in
by the
there
end
yet.
of the year. By November, it'll be screaming point. You watch.
Oh,
Maybe.
for sure. Oh, by summertime
We'll
it'll
see.
be.
Yeah.
We'll see
Yeah.
what happens. I think
Yeah.
the tide is turning on a lot of things. I think people are just tired of stuff. And
I think the politics is the most interesting at the moment, and the journalism, because there's so many freelance journalists who are telling the truth, and the odd
Mhm.
politician who's telling the truth.
Mhm.
They've been really censoring though, haven't they? The our Thomas, son of Robin, worked that one out. Is pretty much been censored again. If you have an app, and
Yeah.
you've been following him, you can't now see
Mhm.
anything. And they've gone for Katie Hopkins again and Lawrence Fox again. Yeah, they're definitely trying to shut everybody up.
yeah,
Katie Hopkins is not going to be shut up.
no, that
No.
woman, no one tells that
But
woman no.
once you know and once you listen to them, it depends whether you
If
go
you
to their
can.
places, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you
Well,
can
Dan
watch
Wooten's
the
got his
interview she
YouTube thing
did
now.
with Thomas, son of Robin, it was
Oh.
absolutely.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've
brilliant.
watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely
Write it
brilliant.
down.
Well,
Yeah,
I think a lot of them are going, private, because then they're not beholden to anybody and they can say what they want to say. You can get a
Mhm.
lot more honest reporting on YouTube and Rumble and other things than you're going to get from
Mhm.
actual
Yeah.
news
but
organizations.
if you watch, they're starting to teach kids at school about this so that they won't trust it. They want kids to think that if it isn't on our TV screens, then it's not real, And that's because they're scared. They're scared of what's coming out.
Kids are too smart for that.
It should be.
If you
Well,
tell
hope
kids,
so.
no, because if you tell kids they have to trust something, they're
They don't,
immediately
yeah.
going to not,
Mhm.
because they're going to want to know why.
Was
Yeah.
that word foobar? Was it foobar
Yeah,
in Salinger's book?
yeah,
Mm,
It's just
sounds
something-
familiar.
yeah. Foobar. What is the
Effed up beyond all recognition.
ignition? Yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of independent news. There's a lot of independent news on YouTube, and there's a lot of independent, opinion that you're not getting from, because everyone's
Well, when-
beholden to somebody.
when you have the MSM, who was it? It was an idiot on CNN or MSM. One of them said, "Well, you should trust us with your information. We're
Yeah.
the ones that give you the right information." I'm like, no.
Well,
That's
it's
why I don't
basically they're
have
saying,
cable.
yeah, we
I
tell
don't have
we
TV.
tell you what we want you to think.
Mhm.
It's like, hello, I
And then
know
they
you
all
don't.
say the exact same thing,
Same
like
thing.
across
Mhm.
the country. Every
Yep.
Across
news
the
station is
world.
saying the exact
The wording
same
is the
thing.
same.
It's
Yep.
the world. Everyone gets the same news at 4
You
a.m.
get them.
in
Yeah.
the world gets the Western world all
Yeah.
gets the same talking
Mhm.
points, and then
Yeah,
we
it's
don't know
crazy.
because if we're watching it here, we don't see it over there.
Hmm.
Yeah, but even CNN has backed down and started calling out things on the left because they've hemorrhaged so many viewers and lost so much money that they're firing their talent now because they can't afford to keep them. But even they were calling Biden out for his lies the other day after the State of
Yeah,
the
but they'll
Union.
call them out, and then they'll tell you to go vote for him. So
Of course.
Oh, I've got a weird one too, a conspiracy theory that I only read about the other day, which is a new one for me. That Macron's wife
Is a man.
I
is a
saw
man.
that. Candace
Yeah,
Owens talking
Wow.
about it.
I've
No.
never heard that one before.
Have you seen her daughter though? Her daughter looks just like her.
Right.
I know her. I know her children from her first marriage hate him because their mother was dating him when he was 16, and
15.
she left them to go. Yeah, left her family to go be
that's
with
so
this
gross.
child.
That's
So
so
that's
gross.
creepy as it is. That's creepy pedophile territory.
That's Mary Kay Letourneau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she was a man. I don't know.
She's just a pedophile.
It's
Okay.
still, yeah, she's a pedophile. 'Cause, like Joe Biden sniffing children.
Ugh.
People at that level
Man.
get away with it. It's like if it was a man who had been dating a 15-year-old woman and then married, he'd be called out for it.
Well, no, that's minor attracted persons now.
Unless
Well,
he's
yeah.
in the Rolling Stones, and then he'll just get away with it.
Oh,
forever.
geez, yeah, or Roman Polanski or one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Ugh.
yeah, Anne said so he's going to fall for his teacher and not know about that. Yeah, no, I don't believe that. I don't know why Candace Owens has
Unless
gone
that's
so
what he
far
finds
in that.
attractive
Candace
about
Owens
his
has
teacher.
gone off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, I don't trust her anymore. She is
No.
totally jumped the shark.
Well, the whole Daily Wire group, what is up with them?
I don't know.
Matt
I
Walsh
can't get
is
over
losing
Ben
his
Shapiro
mind.
and a Tom McDonald video.
Well,
And our
that was
GB
pretty funny.
News, that's all
That was
collapsing. If you know
Yeah.
about GB News,
Well, you knew
they're
it
getting
would
rid of
because-
everyone one by one, and it's
Yeah.
turning
Yeah,
woke.
because it's always
Yeah.
going to. Then they're all going to go woke. You can't trust any of them.
And I know Anne Pinkover, I know she'll be annoyed with me, but it all started to go wrong when Nigel Farage joined them. And Nigel Farage, because I know with Anne-Marie Waters, although he did a marvellous thing, with the Brexit, he's a snake. He's a snake in the grass, and he's
Ooh.
only out
That's
for himself.
fighting
at the
words
end of the
there,
day.
Neil.
Yeah, yeah.
Well.
Anne Pinkover won't be happy with that, but
I don't know. I think
Next,
Anne's
you're going to
more
call out Mark
pragmatic.
Stein. What's going on?
Yeah, if it was Mark Stein, that'd be something totally different, Neil. But I don't know. Mark Stein, I discovered through Rush. And
Yeah,
everyone's got their demons.
of course
And,
they do.
you can't trust everybody
I
like
don't
that
trust
100%.
Anybody, I don't trust myself 100%. So why would I trust?
It's like with a
some dude
politician,
on
you're
TV.
never going to find a
Yeah.
politician that feels the exact same way you want on every issue. So you have to decide what's the most important that you can live with them disagreeing with you on and vote that way. Because you're not going to find a politician that has all of your beliefs.
Well, because
So
if
so
they
you decide
did, they
how many
wouldn't
of
be a
them-
politician.
Exactly. So you have to decide how many of them can you stand to disagree with and what you can stand to disagree with. And, you don't vote based on superficial quality.
One issue
You shouldn't.
or,
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's going to be different in November. I don't know. I think it's going to be different. Oh, here's the answer.
There you go.
I love that phrase. Nigel was Nigeling.
Yeah, I don't know. I think GB News was never going to last. They were always going to come for them. They were never going to always.
Well, I think the last
Be
one
able to keep-
standing now is Neil Oliver, and they're already planning to get rid of him. They're putting him online, aren't they, so that he's not actually on the TV. So they're keeping him on board, but not allowing him on TV. It's
Well,
like, wow.
The news, it's like when the news was actually independent and they were not another arm of the government, it was different.
I mean, it still wasn't good because they've always kind of been shitty, but now,
They were.
like you said, they are hook, line, and sinker with the government, which doesn't make it a free press anymore.
Mm-mm. It used to be, the New York Times was all the news that fit to print. And now it's all the news that fits we print.
Yeah.
It's a totally different thing. They all
Mhm.
lie because
Yep.
it's what's convenient for them. It's easier for them. There's very few mainstream reporters who will actually go out and put themselves on the line anymore because they know there's no one's going to back them up.
Right.
Their companies won't back them up. They're all owned by people like Soros,
Mm-hmm.
like all the DAs and ADAs in the country.
Oh God, yeah. I'll tell you, there's one person. I don't watch any of the mainstream. I get all my stuff from YouTube and Instagram, and I still question all of it. There's one person on a main network channel that I trust, sort of, mostly, and that's
Sort of.
Maria
I like
Bartiromo.
Because she's talking about business.
Yeah, but she talks politics.
I know, I know.
She's untouchable. She's untouchable.
She knows too many skeletons.
She's paid her dues, and they can't take her down. So that's the only one that I will listen to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Listen,
If
ladies,
you get-
I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to
No.
go because
We're
No,
gonna
we
go
need to
too.
Yeah, we've been on a long time. So thank you guys both for joining us.
Thank
we love
you.
having you.
Thank you.
Everybody go to
Oh,
bed.
Thanks for
we
having
only had-
us. Yeah,
we only had
straight
2
to bed.
comments tonight instead of 3. So thanks for coming. You guys get some
Thanks,
sleep.
guys.
Bye bye.
And
Bye.
bye, everybody.
Bye, Neil. Bye, everybody.